that about Chronically.
Y'all ever went to an escape room?
I want to so fucking bad.
Never. You have?
I'm not gonna lie, I have gone to an escape room, and I feel like it tested my relationship a little bit.
It does.
What? No.
I kind
way.
of got, yeah, cause like, okay, so the escape room we went into was in the mall, so it was like a bunch of different rooms like cut out into a big space, and they were in general like, you know, be kind of quiet because you don't want to spoil anything for the people out in the lobby. So at certain times, my man would be getting like loud as shit, and I'd be like,
Oh,
bro, shut the
man.
fuck up, shut up, like, damn, why you being so aggressive, like? And then I thought to myself, like, am I the problem? Like, maybe I shouldn't be policing this man's fun.
Am I the drama?
Yeah. I
Yes,
feel like
you are.
the person sitting behind that desk has a good job because they watch the cameras, and I imagine they see a bunch of couples fight all the time in those rooms.
Yo, I
That's
wonder
nice.
how many times they've seen people break up in those rooms. I have a friend who works at an escape room. I should ask them.
And that shit be hot as hell. The AC was not working that day. It was so hot.
That'd be fucking hot.
Dude, I
Yeah,
can't
honestly, I just wanted to escape the room to get some AC. You know what I mean?
Yo, it's gonna be so nice not living in the fucking hentai house anymore. Oh my god. Do you not? Do you not know? Oh my god, I haven't told y'all. One of the big reasons that and I broke up is because every single inch of his bedroom is covered in hentai. His car is covered in hentai. He has a hentai body pillow that is in bed with us. The first Christmas I was with him, he bought me hentai lingerie that I opened in front of his parents.
Oh,
Wow.
dude.
And I had to like straight up be like,
Fun.
hey, you are not allowed to put your like hentai figures in the living room because I don't want people to see that when they come and visit us. And he got upset about it and said that I was fucking with his
Being
creative
shitty?
freedom.
What?
And like he straight up, like one of the reasons we didn't have sex for like a fucking year is because he would straight up ask if he could pull up hentai on his phone while fucking me.
What the fuck? No way.
And on
Yeah.
that note, welcome to the podcast, everybody. Chronically Online, episode 6, I believe. This is the 6th
No, 5?
episode.
I thought it was 5, unless you're editing one.
We've just released the 4th episode as of recording. 5th episode is Tommy's interview, and this will be our 6th episode.
Okay.
Yes, podcast for adults, by adults, everybody. Get your drinks, kick your children out of the room.
Dots.
Get ready for it, cause
I'm sober
We're
right
coming
now,
in
so
hot.
I'm gonna scandalize the Mormons by drinking Coca-Cola.
exactly, we're revolting against the Mormons now. Wait, what?
Yeah, because Mormons can't drink Coke.
Wow, but they do Coke, huh?
Hey.
All right, let me go ahead and give us a little introduction. You guys know me by now. I'm Swillow. I'm the host of the show for tonight. Check me out on Spotify. I'm an underground artist. I got a gaming channel with my sister Chrysalis. Cat's called Chaos. And this is my podcast. You're listening to it right now. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, and then we got some awesome guests with us tonight. Momo, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, this is Momo, same as always. Wash your ass, but I'm here to drink my wine that I got.
I love
We
it.
have yeah.
Wash your ass, drink some ass. Okay.
Right, there you go, slurp
Okay.
it.
All right, another one of my amazing hosts tonight, Lilac. You know what to
Hey.
do.
Ayo, I am Lilac. I was gone from episode 4, but I'm back now and ready to party.
Woo!
Hey. And then we have a little bit of a quiet host here. She may not have, she's got a little bit of technical issues, technical difficulty going on right now, but go ahead and say hello, Chrysalis. We know you're here. Say hi to the viewers.
The simple hi. Go back
Once
to
y'all
mute.
sub, we can afford to get Chris a better mic. So hit that subscribe button.
Exactly. Subscribe to the Patreon too.
Yeah. Patreon, guys. We're gonna have some crazy stuff on there. Just watch.
Ooh.
We're
Go
gonna
back
keep
to
talking about this Patreon, and it's never gonna happen.
It's
I feel
it's
like...
never gonna get set up.
Oh, it's gonna
We're just-
happen. We're gonna speak it into
Be made.
existence. Yeah.
Okay,
gonna
I'll do a
happen.
better intro though.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Chrysalis. I run a gaming YouTube channel with my sister Swillow.
Okay.
I don't have any headphones right now, so I'm not gonna hear shit. Okay,
and
that's it. That's my intro.
Fine.
and we have somebody special in the podcast that you have not met yet, audience members. Psycho, go ahead and introduce yourself to the podcast. Who are you? What are you? How are you feeling right now?
Shit, my bad. What's up, guys? I'm a nobody. I'm just chilling. We're out here having some drinks. This is my first time on this podcast, so
Mhm.
hi to you guys.
What does it feel like?
And right back to sort of.
What does it feel like being on the podcast?
Because you were kind of just dragged into this. You didn't know. You just joined the Discord call and were like, "Hey, let's chill," and then we just
We're
dragged
like,
you
welcome
in.
to the podcast. Welcome to Chronically Online. He's like, oh shoot.
Are you chronically online, Psycho? Psycho, this
Chronically
is the
offline.
point. This is the point in the podcast where you respond.
Oh no, he's turned
Alright.
into Sunny.
Right.
He's smarter than me.
Hey. Is he
All
watching
right,
this?
everybody, that was Psycho.
Yay.
Give it up for Psycho, everybody. Psycho.
You heard me, right?
You
No,
were
you're
muted this whole
muted.
time.
Yeah, you were muted that whole
What?
time.
You're lying. You
No.
know.
Nah.
Nah, you were muted this
No,
whole
I
time.
swear
We're
I
like, oh
wasn't.
man.
You,
He was
I
miming
swear
it
you
up
were.
over there.
I'll say my bad, y'all. I'm just here chilling. My first time on this podcast, so hello to you guys. And yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Do you like feet?
No. Yes.
You sure about that?
I don't know.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Mm-hmm. Welcome
They
to
all
the
deny it.
podcast.
Hold on, y'all. I'm
Well-
trying to get me a drink.
What was the story you were telling before the intro?
Sorry.
Which one? I'm a yapper. I was telling many stories. I was talking about the hentai room and the hentai car. Is that it?
That's
Yeah.
right.
We ain't
Okay.
worried about no anti-car.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you missed it.
Oh, shoot.
my ex knows that this podcast exists, but he promised me he wouldn't listen to it. So if you're listening to this, go fuck yourself.
You
Just
lied.
kidding. Just kidding. We're still
Nah,
homies.
nah. You stand on that. You stand on that.
Alright, still on
Okay.
business.
Stand on it. Fuck you.
There we go.
So let me walk you through the timeline here, and then we can have a nice little combo about it. So my ex from too young of an age got into hentai and porn and things like that, which, when you have access to the internet from a young age, unfettered access, that shit happens. The issue is it became his entire personality. And his parents had gifted him hentai body pillows for his
What?
15th birthday.
Ew. Wait. Okay, sorry. Yeah, keep going. But there's a lot to unpack already.
His half sister, accidentally, not realizing it was hentai, bought him a hentai book.
That's weird.
Yeah. From a con when he was 17. And
Dojin.
yeah, Dojin. And when he was with his, when he was living with his family, he couldn't really decorate his space how he wanted that much because, he was living with parents. We all know how that shit sucks. So we moved in together. he moved into my little apartment, my studio, so he didn't really redecorate anything. And then we moved into the apartment that we are in / I'm moving out of now. And that's when he could start decorating his space however he wanted. We have a 2-bedroom apartment, so we both had our own bedrooms, just so we could have our separate space, you know. And he decorated his bedroom wall to wall, floor to ceiling, including a rug with hentai.
How do you even what?
To be
Where did
fair,
you buy
I
the
bought
rug
him the
from?
rug. I bought him the rug, to be fair.
Bitch.
I'm
Where
not
did you
gonna
buy that rug
deny my
from?
culpability. Etsy.
Damn, she need
I
one
need
for
a link.
herself.
For a friend. For a friend.
I'll send you a link. It's like shitty AI art that is supposed to be 2 characters from League of Legends, but apparently isn't.
Man, I was thinking about showing that, but we can't. I'm gonna have to blur the entire rug out.
It's not like fully nude. It's just
Oh, God.
suggestive.
Oh,
Um,
gosh. That's the Patreon content right there.
That's the Patreon content right there whenever we get it set up, y'all.
Never, but maybe.
And I was like, okay, this kind of sucks, but this is your space. Whatever. He also has a car. I didn't start driving until recently because I have a fainting disorder. I didn't want to risk other people's lives on the road, so I was like, I'm gonna wait till I get my fainting disorder under control before I start, you know, driving. And I'm finally in driving classes now. Everything's going great, blah, 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 blah. But for a while, we only had his car. That was the only way to get around. And he decorated his car like entirely in fully nude, pussy out hentai stickers.
On the outside?
Yes.
How is that not like almost like public indecency?
I don't know. But I gotta say, we got a lot of looks when we were driving around in that fucking
Ew.
car. Because of course
Ugh.
we did. And it was so fucking embarrassing. And then
Yeah.
it got to the point, here's the thing. We live in a huge apartment complex. Like there's like 100 units in our complex, and then there's another complex right next to us with easily 100 units. So there are a lot of families that live here, and parents started ripping the stickers off of his car.
As they should. The fuck?
Because car was like our parking spot. Oh shit, you're gonna have to, can you like beep his name in editing?
From now on, when you want to say, can you say beep?
Okay, yeah,
And then I'll beep everything before this.
thank you. And so, like, our parking spot is right at the bottom of the hill in the corner of the complex, and it's right next to the green electrical box. You guys all know what electrical boxes I'm talking about, the ones you
Yes.
hang out at as a
Oh, I
kid.
love those. Yeah.
Yeah. His car was always parked right there because
Oh.
that's where our parking designated parking spot is.
Sorry.
So we would see these fucking like kids
Ew.
playing in the parking lot next to Envy's car, and they started
Ew.
vandalizing Envy's car and started vandalizing the outside of our apartment because of it. And it was so fucking humiliating and embarrassing.
Yeah, like, and I just like, what the fuck on so many levels? Like, first, what were his parents doing buying him sexual content? First off, in any degree, but also underage. Why? What is that dynamic? What the fuck? And I believe you've mentioned before that are they religious?
They're like white suburb religious, you know?
Okay, got it. So religion of middle class.
Yeah, like no, they're
understand
high. They're easily upper class.
Oh, got it. Oh,
And
got it.
Bleep's family is extremely rich. Like
Got
has
it.
a vacation home on
Ew.
an island kind of rich. Owns 6 houses that they rent out kind of rich.
Got it. So at this point, they're just borderline almost Epstein.
Yeah.
Because, like, what the fuck is that? And, like, actually, like, what the fuck is that? Like, someone else has got to say something, because I'm a broken record over here. I'm genuinely speechless at, like, the dichotomy of like what your brain must look and feel like to want to be around sex 24/7 like that. Like I just it's icky.
It gets worse. It gets so
God.
much worse. So, our first Christmas together, I don't have family. I don't have any family that I go to see for the holidays. I usually spend, my holidays by myself or with friends. And so, our first Christmas together, he invited me to Christmas at his family's house. And it's this big, like, Christmas is his mother's passion. This woman is working year-round to have the perfect Christmas. The house is decorated immaculately. Like, all the vibes are perfect. Everyone gets the perfect gift. She is, like...
The lady from the Grinch movies?
Yeah, she is literally, like, she is the epitome of a suburban housewife who takes medication that makes them numb to cope with life. It's sad.
Yeah.
And so Christmas comes, I'm sitting there, I'm opening up the gift that Envy got me. And it is a micro bikini with hentai, with a Hagao faces on it, with thigh highs, with a Hagao faces on it. And I opened that in front of his entire family, including his half-sister, his sister-in-law, both of his brothers, his father, his mother, and the dog. I don't know why I included the dog, but it felt important.
It counts.
What were their reactions?
I
Pretty sure
turned
the
beet
dog
red,
was like, "Oh."
and they laughed about it. I turned beet red, shoved it back in the bag, and then also in the bag was a toothbrush.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So was he saying like use this or your breath stinks?
So I hadn't been to the dentist in years, but like my teeth were fine. It's just my teeth were stained, so cause I haven't gotten a professional cleaning. So yeah. And that was our first Christmas together, and for some goddamn reason I stayed. But then
I'm sorry, it's just like those TikToks where it's like he did this and then we got back together 3 months ago.
And so like we stayed, we moved in together, and then it started becoming a battle of decorations. Decorating a mutual space was like so hard because he's like, I want to have an entire bookshelf in the living room full of anime figures, and I'm like,
Ew.
I don't want that in my living room. I want our living room to be tasteful. And then when he stopped arguing about it being hentai everywhere, it's now we have to have Dungeons and Dragons everywhere. So instead of having a nice painting above our TV, we need to have a painting of someone slaying a dragon. Instead of, having a dining room, we now have a D&D room. Kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
But
see,
yeah.
I feel like I could have gotten down with that if that was like the first suggestion.
Yeah, if it was
and it
the
was
first
negotiable, but like that following after the hentai, it just seems like an irritation point.
Yeah, and so I would mention that I was uncomfortable with it because, like, who wants to, like, try and fuck in a room that is covered, like, head to toe in hentai? Especially if you're insecure about your body and all of the hentai has ridiculous body proportions. Like, it's gonna make you feel uncomfy.
And
So-
just imagine, like, that you guys having you guys woohooing, and they're just looking over at some, like, big titty, like demon or something. Like,
That happened every single time we had
annoying.
sex.
my
Crazy.
God.
And so I mentioned to him a couple of times, I'm like, hey, this makes me uncomfortable. He would take it all down, shove it all in his closet, and then like a month later tell me, I resent you because you made me take everything down and change who I am, and it's not healthy for you to make me change who I am. It's abusive. And I'm like, okay, then put it back up, but we're not gonna have sex. That's like the trade-off. You can have it all up, and we cannot have sex, or you can have it down, and we can have sex. Your choice.
That's literally the equivalent to like catching someone cheating on Instagram and being like, can you not talk to that person? And then being like, okay, I'll just delete the whole app.
Yeah, it was exactly that. And then, so our sex life was non-existent for a year before we broke up, which we broke up about 3 weeks ago now. And, yeah, and towards the end of the relationship, we were talking with a couples counselor, and we were trying to fix our sex life, and she had suggested, like, sensual connection, like, oh, hey, give Lilac a back rub, and, oh, hey, when you're in the kitchen, rub Violet's, grab Lilac's ass in the kitchen, and, like, just simple, like, cuddle naked, sensual but not sexual. And he was like, I don't want to do that. What about if instead we put porn on the TV and then we just fuck while watching porn? And I'm like, no. And then he's like, well, if you don't like that, how about we have sex, but then we do it doggy style and you let me balance my phone on your ass so I can watch hentai while we fuck.
What?
You know,
You were just sex craved.
I joined at a weird time, but I'm glad I joined at this time. But I just popped in to say hi.
Hi.
Hey everyone, welcome Sunny's here. Yay!
Ooh!
Yo.
Say hi to the viewers, Sunny.
I did, but now she'll depart.
What? Say hi to the viewers.
Hi, viewers.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, bye, Sunny.
Bye, Sunny.
Right. You could have just stayed out and just came in at the last moment.
And
I always
everything
come at
came
the
to
last
like,
moment, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Sorry.
Hey, yo.
everything came to like a boiling point on my birthday last year. I had like a perfect birthday, went out to an amusement park, all of my friends were there, I got gifted my PC, and I was able to meet all of y'all after that, and like it was perfect, picture perfect, amazing.
Absolutely.
And so afterwards I was like, fuck it, let's have sex, and I gave him a blowjob, and he had this huge kink for finishing on someone's face, and I have always been like, that's not really my thing, but whatever. And this time I was like, okay, let's do it. And I let him, and 10 seconds after he came, he said, you look so ugly right now.
What?
Like, laughing. He's like, you look fucking disgusting right now. And I was like,
What?
oh my god, we are never having sex again.
Do you think he would have called the cops if he put hands on him?
Absolutely.
Ooh,
And
man,
his family
'cause-
could afford good lawyers.
Damn, you're right. It's not worth it. But like, I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast. There has only been one time, and one time only, that I ever put my hands on someone I was dating. And I was dating this dude named Bleep. He was a coworker at Walmart. And he was autistic, I'll give you that. I like my men weird. So like, sometimes he didn't know how to read the room, or he just did weird shit. One time we're sitting in a car together, and I'm I got my feet tucked in, and I'm kind of like leaned over, so I got a little bit of some rolls going on the side that I'm leaned on, and I'm just talking to him.
Natural
then
body
he-
things.
Yeah, and like I'm skinny. Well, I was skinnier when I was talking about this story, but like we're just talking, and he looks at me, and then he literally extends his hand and grabs at my rolls and kind of like pulls on them, like, ha ha ha, I got your rolls. And I don't know, it was instinctual. I had never ever hit anybody before this since I was like a child, but I smacked the shit out of that man. I smacked the fuck out of that man. I smacked him harder than I expected to, and we both kind of looked at each other in shock. His face was red, but I'm telling you, he never touched my motherfucking rolls like that again, and I bet he won't do it else. And like, I think like afterwards, one time we were in a car together, and like, we're in a parking lot, and like a girl with a fat ass walks by, and he's trying to, I guess he was trying to test me, and so he was like, hey, that girl's got a fat ass, and I looked at him, and I was like, I'll do it again, and he shut up. So, I don't know, maybe violence is necessary sometimes, but also maybe that was wrong, but also maybe you should have smacked the shit out of him. Yeah,
Part of me wanted to. I was like, what the fuck is up? Like,
it feels good. It feels real good to just smack the shit out of someone who disrespects you like that.
Dude, I was so mad. I was so mad. And then, like, 3 months later, he gets absolutely blitzed on New Year's. And we're kind of talking, we're having a deep talk, even though we shouldn't, because we were both drunk, and you shouldn't have deep relationship conversations when you're drunk, but whatever.
My
Learned.
deepest one was when I was drunk, though. That wine drunk be something else. I'll tell you.
Wine
I'll tell
drunk.
my deepest secrets.
He was drunk off Jaeger, and I was
Oh.
drunk off, I think it was vodka.
Ooh. Speaking of, you guys want to take a shot real quick?
Down.
Yeah.
Shot.
We'll get it.
We're starting off with a banger on the. We don't even have a topic just yet. We're just kind of telling y'all what we've been up to.
Yeah.
Oh, was it me?
It's been a minute.
Let me know when everyone's ready for your.
That wasn't Psycho.
That was me. What?
God, Momo, stop burping on the podcast. Fuck.
Wow.
Haven't yet. I haven't
Mind
yet.
your fucking manners.
Throwing Momo under the bus. How could you?
Hey, be nice.
I
to
can
me,
burp
Mom,
out one.
like-
Why are you gonna make me spill my shot?
Just like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, yo.
All right, let's take this shot.
Ready.
Swillow's famous cheers. Cheers to love. Cheers to honor. If you can't come in her, come on her. Cheers, everybody. This is a podcast for adults by adults.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Words to live by.
Have to get some more wine though.
Okay.
Oh,
I
I'm
drink an
chasing my shot with coffee. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, that's diabolical. Ew.
It's delicious. I feel like the French would fight you over that statement.
Wild.
I have
There
Kahlua
you
in
go.
my freezer right now.
Uh-huh.
And the Mexicans. Bro, I went to a Mexican restaurant for
Fire.
I don't remember whose birthday it was, but it was somebody's birthday. And we were all like thinking about getting coffee or like a nice little dessert drink after our meal. And we got the menu, and I was thinking to myself, man, I would love some alcohol in my coffee, shit, but nobody else was really feeling that. And then when the waiter came out, my boyfriend's mom was like, hey, so what are these drinks? And he's like, yeah, this is coffee with alcohol, this is tea with alcohol, and then this is coffee and tea with alcohol. And everybody got blitzed, and we started throwing rocks on the river across the street. Yeah, good
That's
times.
good.
Skipping.
The only
I
thing that
skip
I've
the
had is like
fuck.
a hot toddy, but that's like when I'm sick that I would mix liquor and like tea. But that shit does like great wonders when you're sick, is making a hot toddy. That's the
I've
only time
never
that I-
done that, but I've heard stories that people used to give their kids like whiskey on like a really bad fever night or something like that.
People used
Yeah,
to
that's right.
rub alcohol on their kids' gums when they
That's
were
what it is.
teething.
Mm.
Okay, I think that's what I heard.
Y'all.
Yeah, I had like
What's
this
the-
lady tell me this in Oklahoma. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I was gonna say, what is the most diabolical thing someone has said to you?
Oh, that's just trauma.
We don't have to. We don't have to go into it. I was thinking of like a one-liner that stuck with you.
Oh yeah. That stuck with me.
I can think of one, but that's like where it's like you're telling me something I already know, but that's probably because you're too small that you can't reach. But I had a guy tell me that I was too big, but that's because he's like 5. I'm 5'5", he's like 5'3" ish. So he couldn't really, we were just going at it, and he was not able to hit right. But he
Oh,
blamed it on
man.
me being big. So I was like, I think it's because you have a small, but we're not gonna get into.
Damn.
I have one that's pretty, I think, pretty diabolical. I don't think I have any romantic feelings for you. Oh, right after us sleeping together.
Oh no.
Oh my god, I feel that. But it was like a couple of weeks into it. Right after?
Literally, right, like, post-coitus conversation.
Like you
told-
still have
Wait,
fucking
this kills-
cum on your leg, kind of shit.
Oh,
Oh my god, coitus
hilarious.
kills would go sick on a t-shirt. Tell me I'm wrong.
Was that?
Also,
Exactly.
the fact that I spent money to fly out to him.
Oh my.
I'm not gonna lie. I've done that for one person.
That's fucked up,
Off
Mama.
of the
You
whip.
better apologize right now.
But I've done that.
You better
once for-
apologize.
Apologize.
If not to him, to Chris. You better apologize to Chris.
Apologize, Chris. I apologize to Chris.
Yeah,
But not
apologize
that.
to Chrysalis on behalf of someone who has done the deed.
I think Momo's talking about. I think she's talking about flying out to somebody.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
my
done that.
bad. Oh, my bad. Oh my God, my bad. I'm
Apologize to
victim.
me now. Apologize to me now.
I'm sorry. Look at me. Oh my God, I'm the bad guy. I really am the drama. Fuck.
But no,
My bad.
never again am I ever gonna spend money on a guy who like I feel like he just used me, but that was my fault. Should have seen it. Should have seen it.
Oh my God. I was literally just in VR chat consoling a friend, being like, look, you gotta really vet these people, because the one time I had sex outside of a dedicated relationship only because I expected it to become a dedicated relationship, I got burnt. Literally, dude got the dooley doo. Oh my God, this is the thing. Here, let me just tell you the story, because it hurts my soul. I can't even believe I let it happen. So,
Shit.
between the years of like 16 and 21, I didn't date nobody. I was like religiously not dating because I was just like busy on like a spiritual journey and like career journey. I had a lot of shit going. But then at 21, I move and I'm finally living like on my own. I move into my best friend's house, and a coworker who had worked with me at my previous job before I moved hit me up on Facebook, and we kind of hit it off. And I wasn't looking for a relationship, but like, this might sound stupid, but I had gotten a tarot reading before leaving that house saying I would meet someone special in September, which is around the time that I had met him. So like, just like, I just had that, like, I was a whimsical, I'm like a romantic lover, or whatever they call it, hopeless romantic. So like in my head I was like, oh my God, yeah, I was like, oh my God, he's the guy, it's real. And then we hit it off. He's super romantic. He's like super like always like, let's go to bed on the phone. One time he called me on FaceTime butt naked in the shower and just like washed his ass in front of me, and I felt like that was really romantic, right? So I was like, he's dedicated. Exactly. He showed me the ass is clean, and it was shaven, which was the first red flag that I ignored. But besides that, oh my God, and one time I fell asleep on the phone with him, and then he took a screenshot of my face. That was awkward. Maybe it's just because I didn't.
I've done that.
See,
Yeah,
it
'cause
depends
it's like,
on
what the
how close
fuck?
you are with them.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's like if you're dating and they're super cute when they're sleeping, and you're like, I have to show them how cute they were when they were sleeping. Screenshots happen.
Ugh, I hate that. I don't want you to show me shit.
So the whole point of this to say, he came over to, like, we went on an official date. After taking me to lunch, after walking on a moonlit sunset beach, a moonlit sunset, that doesn't make sense. Anyways, it was beautiful. It was moonlight out. Whatever. I'm kind of drunk right now. Coffee and alcohol don't mix, or they mix too well. And he deadass tells me I can't kiss you. Like, I don't want to kiss you. But then drove me home, proceeded to have sex with me and lay the pipe, and then still didn't want to kiss me afterwards. And then slowly over the process of 2 weeks began to ghost me, and I saw that shit ahead of time. And so, like, it broke my heart, but like...
Wait, so did he not kiss you while laying pipe?
Nope, he never kissed me. I never kissed him. I don't know why. Like, that was the second red flag, and I don't know why I allowed it to happen. Like, I genuinely, like, when I think back at that story, it really, like, turns my stomach at, like, shame, because, like, I would never let that ever happen. Like, if you weren't gonna kiss my feet, you're not gonna date me, type shit. Like, the fuck you mean you're not gonna kiss me? Like, you wanna ejaculate inside my body, but you don't wanna lay lips on me? Excuse me?
Exactly.
Damn.
But yeah, so I let him hit. He said it was creamy. That was weird. That was the first time I heard that. And then
Yo, I heard that during the only hookup I've ever had too.
right, honestly, creamy. Yeah, creamy girls rock. Hey, gang.
Again?
Tell me that would go great on a shirt.
Yes, it
Like
would.
Creamy Gang.
I'd wear it.
Creamy girl gang. All right, creamy gang or creamy girl gang?
Creamy gang, so that way our trans brothers
Yes.
can also
Yes.
participate.
Okay. Honestly, we have a merch line coming up. Patreon and a merch line coming up. Y'all hear that? Coitus
Yeah.
kills and creamy gang.
Creamy club.
Creamy club. Ooh, okay.
Gotta have that alliteration.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so men ain't shit, and I get casual sex. If you want casual sex, do it. But if you're ever like looking for a serious relationship, don't accept casual sex. Even if it's under the guise of it's going to turn into a relationship. Don't let no one kiss you, touch you, nothing unless they're in it. Unless they've asked you to be theirs. Exclusive.
Don't hang out with the guys who just want to chill at their apartment for a low-key day, you know? Like, let's have a
Yes.
low-key date at my apartment and watch movies and eat snacks. No, you're gonna try and fuck me the second I sit on your couch.
And honestly, while I'm at it, if we're talking about advice, don't be the cool girl that has no standards and is low maintenance. Don't be that girl, bitch. I'm telling you, demand what you think is deserved of who you are. If you can give it to them, you deserve it back. So if you need someone who can provide for you monetarily because you know you're on your way, or if fuck it, if that's what you want, get that. Like, this is a lot of girls go into relationships being like, oh, no worries, I'm so chill. Nah, you step up to the plate and be like, look, this is what I want, and if you're not it, move on, because someone's gonna be there for it. Trust.
Hold fast to your boundaries.
Yeah.
And your
oh,
standards.
Even if the person who wants to cross them is very nice and is very sweet, hold firm with your boundaries, because it ain't worth it letting them cross your boundaries.
Yep.
Exactly. If the only thing you get from being a cool girl is attention from the worst men, it's not worth it.
Facts.
And honestly, like, respect, I feel like if everybody just chose to respect themselves first and foremost, there would be a lot less slights happening. Like, to protect yourselves, you must respect yourself. And that's facts.
And to all my people out there who are who have this innate desire to be good, just know that saying no and setting boundaries does not make you bad, even if the person you're setting boundaries with has a negative reaction to it.
Yep. No one's reaction is your fault or your responsibility. So if you ever want to say no to something, you don't even have to think about the person's reaction, because it's not your problem. It's theirs. You know what I mean?
Especially when it
Absolutely.
comes to sex. Don't ruin your relationship with sex, because then it just sucks. I speak
And
from
work.
experience.
And social, like, I hear a lot of the times, like, for example, I don't know if this was off podcast or not, but you had mentioned that, you know, you were nervous about, like, coworkers' reactions to certain things in your life. And I was like, it's not up to you to police their reactions. Just be like, you know, just say, like, whatever you want to say, you know, type shit. Like, for example, say you got a tattoo and you were kind of worried about the reaction of a tattoo. Who cares? If anybody comes up to you, just be like, yeah, it's a tattoo. I like it. It looks cool. Like, you know, like, everything can be diffused with, like, a positive attitude and a sense of humor and a confidence that, like, nothing wrong is ever gonna happen based on what you do. Like, you're not doing anything wrong. For our viewers out there, you're not in trouble. Everything is okay.
Quick
You're
question.
not, you're in
So,
trouble.
two things.
Granted.
Since I just left Beep, I just have this urge to just mention all of the shitty stuff. Can I finish the New Year's story and then tell
Yes,
you a
ma'am.
tattoo story?
Yes, ma'am. Hit us with
Okay.
it.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with the New Year's story, which is sad, and then the tattoo story, which is hilarious. So,
Love it.
New Year's story. This is after the whole, you know, you look gross, comment. And so it's New Year's, we're drunk, he's drunk an entire bottle of Jaeger. I've drunk, like, probably half a bottle of some shitty vodka that I mixed with orange juice. And we're sitting there and we're talking about that instance because he's like, "Hey, why don't we fuck?" And I'm like, "Because you called me ugly last time we did." And then he just sat there and he's like, this line will stick with me forever. "I don't know how to comfort you about your insecurities when I think they're true."
What?
What the fuck?
You should be kicked in the nuts.
He should.
He should be kicked in the. Matter of fact, throw him off the bridge.
Yeah, I was like,
No.
"Okay, no, we're done. I can't do that shit." But then funny story. So we all went to get, me and one of my old cosplay buddies and Envy all went to go get a tattoo. 1 second here. I'm getting text messages. Please tell me it's not. Okay, it's not from him. He's not home yet. So we're all getting tattoos, and Beep decides that the first tattoo that he wants, and what he wants on his body forever, despite me, my friend, and the tattoo artist suggesting he not do it, is a giant Ahegao face on his right above his heart, on his chest.
Jesus.
Like covers his whole pec.
Oh my god. This
Yeah.
kid needs therapy.
This kid needs therapy. And yeah, he got that tattoo, and when they wiped, you know how they wipe off the ink when they're all done and put the like nice like solution after it's finally done and it feels like heaven? Motherfucker moaned, and it was so loud the entire tattoo shop heard. Like,
What the
loud
fuck?
ass orgasmic moan.
I'm so
I would
fucking
like.
done.
Can't even kick
I'm
him out.
so
You gotta pay.
fucking done.
Bitch, give me my money. Get it out, please.
Yeah, just
Honestly, if you want to give me your address, I can show up and just like, I'll slap the shit out of Bleep just like I did my ex, bro. Like, I'll run away, I'll wear a mask, he won't know you know?
He won't know. Let's wait till I move out before we commit any crimes, you know?
Alright, bet. That's what we say on the podcast, but it's gonna happen. Watch out.
Let's
Yeah.
not air that you're gonna do a crime on.
We're gonna
On a podcast.
we're talking about his Minecraft house. I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah, what are you
Chris.
talking about? We're talking about
in
games.
Minecraft, that's right.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Minecraft.
VR
another
chat
shot.
too. We're gonna see in
Hey.
the VR street.
At least I get
Cheers.
the VR setup in the breakup. Cheers.
Okay. You know what we're cheersing to? We're cheersing to leaving abusive, shitty, porn addicted. Is it fair to say effeminate?
Toxic.
Yeah, we started off the relationship and he was like a total dom, and now he is like the subbiest sub ever.
Effeminate bitch boys. Nepo babies. Although I respect Nepo babies to a certain degree, but like he is Nepo baby. Like not just rich boy.
the
He's Nepo.
definition. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my god, I spilled alcohol. Okay, I gotta stop talking shit. And on a good note, pour one out to the homies. And if you washed your ass, take this shot. If you haven't, go
Don't
wash
do
it.
that.
Cheers.
I'm not pouring for the
motherfuckers.
homies because the
Cheers.
homies
Cheers.
didn't pay for this.
Right.
Just say it.
And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, possibly check the description for a Patreon that may or may not exist. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
Psycho, we haven't heard much from you tonight.
What? I'm chilling.
What's going on in your brain right now?
Not much. Just listening to you guys.
What's
Got
the
any
weirdest
crazy
thing?
ex stories?
Yeah, actually, yeah. What's the craziest ex story you've got?
Oh man.
Go on.
Oh,
You've been
you-
stabbed?
No, I mean, we're doing better now.
Oh.
I've had my ex of what, maybe like 6-7 years.
Ooh. Oh,
But
damn.
no, yeah, it's been
You're
a
a
while.
committed motherfucker.
Yeah,
Here's that.
Huh?
Good.
We love a committed man. Okay. Sorry, keep going. My bad.
No, as of recently, it's kind of we started patching things up, so we're doing better now. But I do have some crazy past with her.
Did you cheat on her?
She cheated on me.
Ooh,
Oh,
with who?
A coworker.
Ooh, man or woman?
I was a man, of course.
Older or younger?
It's probably around the same age.
Handsomer?
Rude. Don't ask him
I
that.
This is the Chronically Online
but
podcast.
what you guys are saying.
We ask the hard-hitting questions.
No. Like exactly. Like I said,
Determined.
I was listening to you guys, and it's all basically the same thing. Like something that sticks with you. They've told me almost the same things, almost along the same lines. And yeah, no. And
They
I
came
was
on
like,
your
yo,
face and said you were ugly?
Yes.
Ah. I'm sorry.
Oh man, no, but
you're doing better now.
It's wild out here, but no, we're doing way better now.
Would you say they're a changed person from how it used to be?
Definitely.
Truly?
Yes.
You've seen change?
Yes.
Do you think
that's good.
the breakup was the catalyst for the change?
Definitely not, because last I remember, she was trying to move on to that other guy. But
Ooh.
since everything kind of came to light, the other guy was also like, nah, fuck that shit.
Does the other guy make more money than you?
know that.
Not
Well, like,
sure.
I imagine they make just as much as your partner does because they worked at the same job, right?
She used to be a host, and so the partner would be a cook. So I'm not sure. That would vary, I believe.
Okay. It's an irrelevant question, but I simply just want to gather the facts.
Yo,
Right.
I gotta be honest though. You should have. You have to expect it if it's a line cook. Like, line cooks are the
They do make
greasiest
money.
motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. They be fucking everybody.
Yeah, they be flirting with all the hostesses. I grew up in kitchens, like.
See, like my man
Server,
used to be a
hostesses,
line cook,
everything.
so like that's why I don't trust him. You know what I mean?
Not good.
Like when he leaves the house, he puts his dick in my hand and he leaves without it.
Exactly.
Put your dick in a box and then you can leave, bitch. That's the rules in my house.
Isn't there a song that's like "Let me smell your dick"? I don't know.
Yes, that's exactly what happens when he gets home. I make sure his dick don't smell like anybody else. And if he smells good, I'm gonna be like, "Why you smell good?" And he's like, "It's just deodorant." And I'm like, we
Why
gonna
you
see about that.
deodorizing your dick?
Right. And also, like, recently, look, I might be a little jaded. Recently, he started putting leave-in conditioner in his hair, and I'm like, who are you trying to look good for? Sound like an abusive man.
Oh my god.
Oh, damn.
I'm not gonna lie. Look, I'm not gonna air out anything. You know what? Actually, you know what?
Eric.
I keep dropping my blunt. Oh my god, I keep dropping my blunt. You know what that means?
Rip.
You know what that means?
What's up?
All right, so like this, look, I would never make jokes about cheating if I didn't feel justified in doing so. So he probably, it feels bad to say this personally, so I don't want to, but there have been 2 instances in the very beginning of my relationship. The very first one was in within the first month of me and my current partner getting together. We were long distance, and at one point we're on the phone and he's like, hey, this person who I'm talking to them about you, and they were talking about sexual things about me. Like, this person was like, oh, you should do this, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, first off, what the fuck is that dynamic? Like, what the fuck are you actually doing right now? Like, are you essentially telling me that you're cheating on me? Like, and you think it's casual? Like, I don't, like, it was such a weird, I immediately broke up with him. And then about a week later, I think I reached out to him and I was like, I want to talk. Because, man, this makes me feel bad. Okay. yeah, it feels bad because like you're currently dating him, but we get back together. Long story short, and then a month before our first anniversary, I catch this motherfucker talking to someone on Instagram in a flirtatious manner. Someone who, when I looked through the messages, he had been flirting with prior to our relationship, and I talked about it. Like I brought it up to him the first time, and like he apologized, blah blah blah, and I was like, okay, don't do it again, blah 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 blah. It was a whole big conversation, and then I saw he did it again.
Oh my god.
And then I confronted him, and it was like a breakup relationship. And, man, I've never told Chrysalis this story, and she's my real life sister, and she has met this man, and this makes him seem so bad. But like, this is what justifies me making cheating jokes, because it's kind of like how I offload the emotional labor of having to deal with that type shit, because like, you can't just move past that. Like, he never physically touched somebody, you know? But like, he still flirted with someone in text, and like, for me, that's cheating. Like, that's like,
That
I don't
is.
need it to go any further for it to be considered that. Like, I already considered that a break of our trust. And in that moment, I told him, I was like, he told me he couldn't remember. He told me he couldn't remember when he did it. He couldn't remember, like he didn't text her. Like I caught him liking her pictures. I didn't catch him texting her. He just liked a photo of hers, and that was enough for me. After I tell you to not talk to someone you flirted with, you better not be liking their pictures. The fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and he literally was like, I told him, I was like, look, I will forgive you and I will move past this if you can admit to doing it and actually apologize and be honest about it. But if you're not going to be honest, and if you're going to have a scapegoat and say you have no recollection of it, then I will never trust you, and you're just going to have to deal with that. And whatever that looks like in the future is your problem, and that's your responsibility. And if you ever want to fix this, you got to take accountability. So after that, I've never ever caught him doing it again. And like, he's very open. I have access to his phone 24/7. If I wanted to go look at it right now, I could. You know, like, so like, he's making do, and like, the trust is slowly getting better. It's been 3 years since we've been dating, and that was about 2 years ago that happened. But like, even to this day, anytime he says anything in my head that might go, oh, what if he's doing this? It's there. And like I said, to offload that feeling, I'll make a joke and be like, are you gonna cheat on me? Are you with bitches? I'm like, why do you smell good? I'm like, are you sure you're not doing this for a girl? And so like, yes, when he started, he told me he was doing like, he works at a weed manufacturer plant. So he's with a bunch of dudes in like chemical dressing, like moving shit in plants, and they have a push-up bar in one of the rooms, because like I said, it's like dude culture. So every now and then he's doing push-ups, and I was like, are you doing that to impress somebody? So like, I press him any single time there could be an ounce of like female involvement, and anytime he talks about a female, I'm like, the fuck you talking about a female for? You huh? And like, that's probably an unhealthy thing, but I do so in almost like a joking manner, as a way to remind him of like, you know, it is what it is, and like, he's got to deal with that. I don't know, maybe that's not a good thing to do. Please give me y'all's opinion on if that's a healthy manner or not. I feel like
Definitely not a healthy thing.
It's
Alright,
not.
fuck yeah.
I
Yeah,
went through
you-
the same
feel like-
situation with my ex too, but I ended up breaking up with him because I didn't really see any resolution, to be honest. And that's my son's dad. And we were together for
Right.
almost 8 years, so I decided to let him go because it was like, I mean, I did the same thing as you, Swillow, where I would just be like, are you talking to bitches? And he was talking to bitches. Like, I had a Black China moment where I'm like, are you talking to bitches or texting bitches? Yes
well, this
or no?
is with that said though, like, I do it in a way that is like, I have a big sense of humor, so I never genuinely press him, but I do it in a joking manner to where he could joke it off, but it's still there.
I feel
Is
like
that any different?
I feel like they're
what percentage is it actually a joke? Because there has to be a sliver of truth into it, and that's what almost
Right.
like, that was one of the things that fucked me up with Bleep wouldn't communicate with me, but they would sit there and make these jokes.
90-10,
Right.
and it's very on the nose. like for example, let's role play. Tell me a story about a day in your work life that involved a female at some random point. Let's roleplay.
I work from home. I don't interact with other human beings.
Say like you're on the phone with a girl or something. Just like say oh, I
Like a
heard
girl best
this
friend
from
or
a female.
something.
Oh, yeah. I had this crazy account today. This chick was yelling in my ear all day.
Oh, that's different. Be like a female coworker told me something.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
Brittany
female
Brittany was talking to me about this new Marvel show that came out, Agatha or whatever. I think you'd like it.
Who's Brittany?
My coworker.
Oh, I don't think you told me about Brittany. Are you fucking bitches?
She's new. I'm not fucking bitches.
You promise you're not fucking bitches?
I promise I'm not fucking bitches. You can see the messages.
See, by that point, I'd be like, whoa, you're getting too serious about this. Why are you defending yourself? You don't gotta defend yourself.
Okay.
Are you just wanting to get like a reaction, or is
It's it's literally just like, because he didn't take accountability for that moment, I was like, okay, well, if I have to deal with the fact that I'm with someone who didn't apologize and I have to forgive that person, then I'm going to trust you. But if I get the thought, like, is he cheating? I'm not going to internalize that. I'm going to externalize that. And you need to have the emotional maturity to be able to make me feel okay externalizing that. So his job in response to that is to be like, no. And like to be jovial or like joking it back. And so like, for example, I think he understands that I caught him meat because I don't do this very often. Because like he also doesn't talk about females very often. But the few times he does, you know, he's just like, you know, he'll be like, I don't know, it's hard to replicate his response, but he jokes back, essentially. He doesn't actually take it serious. He doesn't think I'm actually pressing him type shit. And like if he ever is like, I'm gonna go hang out with the boys, and I'm like, you promise you're not fucking bitches? And he's like, I promise. Type shit.
I feel like you kind of say it in like a joking-ish manner to kind of like cope with like the fact that you might not be asking jokingly, but you.
Yes, because I'm not. I feel like it's in a yeah.
I feel like you're just coping, you know. I just feel like I feel like maybe one day you're gonna say it. I feel like it could be like you making a joke with the anticipation that he might actually be telling you something, or might actually tell you something.
Well, see, that's different. So like, if it's just like an inkling I have, I will joke about it. But like one time, I was in his car, and I saw that there was like some pink chapstick, or it looked like lipstick to me, and oh my god, my heart started racing, and I was like, oh my god, this is the moment that I find out he's cheating on me. And I just collected myself, and I walked into the kitchen, and I was like, I found this in your car. What is this? And he's like, that's my sunscreen. That's my lip balm sunscreen. And then I read the brand, and I was just like, okay, that is actually what this is. Okay, no problem.
When was this?
So I have a question for you.
A couple months back. Yeah?
You say that you make the jokes because he didn't take accountability for the thing that happened about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If he did take accountability for that, like if you sat with him and you said, hey, I've been making these jokes because I am still hurt about the fact that you didn't take accountability, and he took accountability then, would those jokes stop?
The jokes would stop, but it would also open up a dialogue of, why didn't you tell me then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like, because my brother and my sister-in-law, I should not say it like that, but my brother with his wife, they joke around a lot, like, they joke around like that a lot, like, are you fucking bitches and stuff like that, and usually
yeah, one of them has cheated for sure.
No, they've never have. One of
Yeah.
my sister-in-law usually says, oh, you're cheating on me, huh? And my brother usually says, yeah, I've been cheating on you, like, you know, in a joking manner. But I think
there has probably been a very soft cheating exposure within that relationship, because I find that when that's said, it's because of like I said, it's an loading of doubt in a what you think in the moment a healthy manner, because you're expressing to your partner, low-key I have these doubts, but I'm going to express it to you in a way that is not an accusation, where you don't have to be defensive about it, but it allows you to acknowledge how I feel while still keeping an upbeat manner type shit. It's like a subconscious acknowledgement of what had happened in the past between one of the two.
Maybe, but I feel like I guess I haven't quite. I mean, their relationship is pretty like. I mean, they come to me a lot for like tough times in their relationship. I don't think they've ever had like an issue with like infidelity in the relationship.
Because like I don't know, because I wouldn't do that if I had like I never like I genuinely would not make jokes like that. I wouldn't even think that way if had not that happened.
I feel like if you're super secure in your relationship, because like if you know for a fact that that would never happen, then making those jokes could be funny.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that. I feel like that's like joking about divorce in a healthy marriage. Like I just feel like you wouldn't even allow that within your paradigm or your language, because like you manifest what you speak.
I feel like divorce jokes can be kind of funny a lot sometimes too. But you're also correct, Will. I feel like there is also like some doubt in there, like
because like every joke has a little bit of truth. Like that's why humor exists. Most people won't tell a joke if they have absolutely no relation to the joke itself, because they wouldn't find it funny. People don't find things funny that they don't relate to. So I feel like if you are making jokes about cheating, it's because you relate to the cheating in one way or another. If you're making a joke about divorce, you're related. That's why I'll never make a joke about breaking up. Like I do not make those jokes because I have no relation to breaking up, because I don't want to. Unless if I do think about breaking up with you, I'll do that. Like for example, sometimes I think my boyfriend is kind of stupid. We talked about this. It's a matter of just like not engaging in like the weird deep conversations I want to have. I make jokes about him kind of being stupid because of that. And like, yes, most of it is just like completely far off jokes, but there is a small little bit of truth to it, which allows the joke to be relatable and funny, and it only exists because of that truth. So I think it's very sketchy to make jokes about things you don't relate to, because most times you're probably going to relate to it even subconsciously.
See, I think it's that way like 90% of the time, but I think the other percent of the time it can be absurdist humor. Like I always joke about beating people up. Never been in a fight in my life, never thrown a punch, probably never will.
But like, do you feel low-key that you kind of want to because you feel like you can't or haven't? Like, no. Do you think you're making those jokes because a subconscious part of you wants to be able to be in that role? Like, you relate to that role because of an emotional or subconscious reason?
No, I make those jokes because I find it's the same reason I'll joke about, oh yeah, I'm so tall, let me grab this off the top shelf even though I'm short. It is because it is absurd. Because it would never, because it's not reality.
I guess that could be true. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. It's like the irony is what's in the joke. It's like the opposite of reality. But with that said, could you also say that that's like a different type of humor that isn't relatable to cheating jokes? Well, I don't know. I guess not, because I guess if you are super secure, you know they're not going to cheat. But also, I wouldn't make jokes like that. I don't know.
Yeah, you're allowed to not like those jokes and not make jokes like that. I want to circle back to something you said earlier. What's everyone's thoughts on looking through your partner's phones?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like what reason do you have to check your partner's phone? Like, or I guess it depends what you mean by check. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, one time I checked his phone and I checked into the deleted folder and I found a porn video of a girl straining spaghetti with her panties.
What?
Okay, I've heard some absurd things in my life, but that is up there.
I was into it. I was like, shit.
Well,
so she strained the spaghetti with her panties. Did she eat the spaghetti?
I didn't get that far. I think I stopped once I skipped through it because like I'm not gonna watch the whole video, and I just stopped once I saw the panties over top of the boiling spaghetti noodles, and I just knew what was about. He's weird. He doesn't know I know that, by the way. If he's watching this, he's not watching this, but like he doesn't know that, but now all of us and our viewers know that. So
I feel like I feel like that depends. Like if you use your partner's phone, it's a lot different from checking your partner's phone. I feel like if you're checking your partner's phone, you feel like there's like something going on, even if you are in denial of it. I feel like if you're in a healthy relationship, then there shouldn't be a reason to check his phone or check their phone. Sorry.
with that said, something that Chris said in the side chat and text for the audience, because her mic's not the best. She mentioned that a lot of girls who have been cheated on in the past make jokes like that, and also with the same sentiment, if you've probably been cheated on in the past, even if not in your current relationship, and it being stable, you'll probably still have the inkling to check the phone as a coping mechanism to protect yourself type shit.
I pretty much learned the hard way. Like, I mean, that's just a disaster to hurt your own damn feelings. So
That's how I found out about the Instagram thing, is I checked his phone.
yeah, because I mean, yeah, my ex was the same way. I fucked around and found out. It was like on more than one occasion, but I was dumb and still stayed with them for almost 8 years. So, I mean,
You hear
I
that,
don't
Alan?
know.
You better step the fuck up. You better step the fuck up.
It's just crazy. But it's like, I mean, when you're really in love with somebody, it's like you are willing to, I guess, stay with them thinking that it's gonna change. It's still the same bullshit. I don't know. It's just crazy. So I'm never gonna go through anybody else's phone ever again. Don't go through mine.
Yeah.
You guys think I should stop making those jokes?
What
Regardless of if it happened or not?
Up to you.
I think
I would
you
say
should
yes.
have a
With your
conversation with him about accountability and have a conversation about the root of those jokes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
A conversation
Okay.
is needed, at least to bring you closure. I feel like
Okay.
that way, you don't, because okay, let's say I'm not all perfect either. I guess I have fucked up too, and the main thing that happens with trying to make things work is that they always bring it back up, even though you've admitted that you fucked up, whatever, and then every little dispute, it always gets brought up. So that kind of never lets you like forget about what I guess happened.
You don't get any closure at all.
Exactly. So then
Yeah.
it just comes full circle, like comes back around, and you can't really move from there if you guys keep bringing that same thing up.
What if I'm faced with the same situation of a lack of compatibility?
What do you mean by that?
Like, so the whole issue was not that it happened, was that the fact that he told me he didn't have a recollection of doing it.
It was
Because I
probably
can forgive,
right.
I mean,
but
I'm
like
pretty
if you
sure.
can't admit to it, I have nothing to forgive. Type
Yeah,
shit.
if you can't admit to it, then that's a different thing altogether.
Like, what would y'all do? Like,
Like,
yeah.
I guess
what
in
would
the
y'all
heat of
do?
the moment, sometimes like people want to bring like whatever random excuse that comes to their mind. So most of the time it's just straight bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely he did not. I doubt
I know
he
he
didn't
didn't.
remember, but that's
Yeah.
what's happening in that occasion, which is why we're saying that you guys should have a talk about it and kind of see what each other's intentions truly are. That way, you guys know whether to end it or to keep working on it.
I would.
It's true.
What you can also do is you could also be like, okay, let's say hypothetically you did remember that you did it, like, and how would you ask for forgiveness from me? How would you show me that you were trustworthy if you remembered doing this?
Oh, I never thought of asking that question.
Sure, you don't remember doing this, but let's
Yeah.
it did happen. So let's pretend that you remember here, even if you don't, and let's act as though you do. Though that might be toxic as fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be a little crazy. I
Kiss
ain't
my
gonna lie.
feet. Kiss my feet or break up.
Oh man.
Honestly, this is my thing. Another thing that Chris has said in the side chat is, I mean, if it's been years though, he has obviously changed since. And he has, like I said, I have access to his phone. I haven't actually checked it in a long time because I feel relatively confident he won't do that. And I also have the confidence of, like, if I ever found out you're doing that, it would be such a like a you dropped the ball on that moment, because since I've been making music and like really doing what I love and like working with people like-minded, and like I really feel like I have potential now in my career. If you fuck up, you've lost a good one, and I'm sure there's many others. So like, don't test me. I'm a very loyal, like I'm a very good partner. Like, I'm communicative. Like, aside from all this, like, should I or should not be making these jokes, any sort of problem that we have is perfectly communicated. At least when it's like, if he brings up an issue, easy, got it, no problem, fixed that day, never ever have to be brought up again. And like, I don't trip. Like, I'm just not a very like emotionally taxing partner, and I'm a go-getter. Like, if you want to start a business together, let's do it. If you want to have a hobby together, let's do it. I'm always up to go places. I'm very spontaneous. I'm just like, I make sure that I give more than I take energy wise. Like, if you're around me, you don't feel like I've taken energy, you feel like I've given you energy type shit. Yeah. So like, I've covered my bases relatively. Hopefully people around me can attest to that. Like, I'm a good person to be around. So like, if you fuck this up, all right, if you ain't going shit, get off the pot. Easy, I'll find somebody better. Low key. I mean, if you fuck up, I'm definitely gonna find somebody better, because you know what I mean. So, at this point, I think since I've started making music, I haven't checked his phone. I still do make those jokes.
You're building your sense of self-confidence and self-worth, so you're feeling less like you need to check it because you're scared that some sort of insecurity in it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So since I felt less insecurity, I'm not really worried. And honestly, with all that said, he has been much better. And anytime that we do have a serious talk of like, hey, like I say, like earlier in the podcast, I said like, don't be the nice girl with low standards. Don't be the easy girl. Don't be the low maintenance girl. Because I was kind of like that. Like I always have standards, but I was very like much like, oh, you know, I don't mind if we do 50-50 and like, you know, no worries. I'll probably end up making more money in the end. And I thought I could be the provider type shit. Like, I don't know why I even thought that. And then like, once we started living together, I was like, oh shit, you need to be the provider. And like, I need you to step up and do all this. And like, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But I'm gonna go because that's what I want. And like, once all those boundaries had been officially established and we really got on the same page as to what our dynamic should be, things have gone a lot smoother, and I've seen him like adapt to the dynamic that I asked for. So with all this to say, I guess there is forgiveness. If he physically fucks somebody, it'd be over. But like, yeah. I guess there is a line to where there's forgiveness allowed, because I have seen change. And Alan, if you're listening to this, which I hope you are, you should be listening to my podcast, but it's okay if you're not. But if you are listening to this, I love you. But also, you should 100% take accountability for what happened in the past. And also, thank you for cooking me dinner. Bro, he made me this ramen. That's honestly, yeah, he's such a good cook. He's like, this is my thing. So, yeah, let me just gush super quick because I just spent like 30 minutes talking shit. He makes me food. He's very much of those like the tender, like sweet boyfriends who, like, you were talking earlier in the podcast about how your therapist recommended sensual affection, and that's like a huge part of our relationship. Like, dude, like, he'll give me fucking massages all day. And like, the best part is like, I'm like not that way. Like, my love language is very much acts of service. and quality time. And his is more like physical touch and food. I don't know if food is a part of that, but that's his love language, is food and physical touch. So like anytime we're near each other, like he's always just massaging, rubbing up on me, just like scratching my head. And like I don't even have to do that to him. Like I do it sometimes, like I'll give him a massage if he's not feeling good. But like the fact that he doesn't require the same love language is so nice. Type shit. And he cooks for me, and he's funny, and yeah, I'm not gonna talk about our sex life, but yeah, no, we be fucking. All right. Anyways, next subject. What are we talking about here? Feet. Who likes feet? Raise your hand.
I like.
Oh, what?
I heard that. Somebody said I like. Who said that?
Me.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna go pee. Feel free to change the subject. I'll be back.
Cool. Yeah, my opinion on the whole phone checking thing is I will break up with someone the second they check my phone, because my friends who come to me about very personal, very deep emotional things have not consented to some random fuck reading their messages. Like that's my policy on it.
I don't think I've ever heard the one getting their phone checked is the one breaking up.
Yeah. No, I would break up immediately, because like my brother will text me about his deepest insecurities, and he didn't give permission for some random dude I'm dating to see that. Like that's a violation of my friend's trust.
That's very true. I never thought of it that word.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I thought I would be able to stay until the end, but tell Swillow I had to head out. My son is on 100 right now. I won't be able to stay till the very end. But this is Momo. I'm gonna sign out for the night. I think she's coming back from her little pee, but did she wash her hands though?
Oh, I hope so. Because if she doesn't, I can't be friends with her if she doesn't.
But, yeah, I'm gonna head out because he's on 100. But I'll see you guys later.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye. Thank you for joining.
I sure hope so. I sure hope that Swillow washes her hands.
Oh, she better.
I'm sure she does.
Hey, we can hear you,
better.
Chris.
Yeah, I was just dying a little bit because I hit the joint, and then I also started sneezing like crazy. So every 2 seconds I was sneezing. So every
Bless you.
time I wanted to chime in, I was fucking sneezing.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Oh
I
man, are you
appreciate
getting
it.
sick too?
Oh. But what I said in the chat is how I feel about checking your partner's phones. If you don't feel 100% confident in the fact that they're not going to cheat on you, you should just not even be in a relationship, because if there's even that doubt, if they're not giving you enough comfort and like soothing your any fears you might possibly have, just generally.
Soothing your feet?
Yep.
No, fears.
Oh, damn.
I knew it.
That's a part.
Hey, Swillow.
Hey.
I gotta. Did you wash your hands?
Yeah, of course.
Momo
With
died.
soap for 20 seconds?
Of course. Even longer.
Okay. Had to make sure because
They smell
Momo
like
had to
berries
go.
and cream.
Momo had to go, unfortunately. And before
Hey,
she
yo,
left,
give me game.
she said that she said that she hopes you wash your hands.
I always wash. And I make sure my nails are clean by like scratching on my palm a little bit, you know?
Okay.
I know all the techniques.
Hell
Also,
yeah.
goodbye, Momo. Did she say goodbye to the viewers?
He did.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, she's media trained. Let's go. I'm
He's
proud.
very media trained.
All right, someone tell me, let's bring this back up. My bad, I was talking about a lot of heavy shit. Let's talk about something funny. What's the funniest X story someone's got?
Funny.
Damn, you're
I'm
right.
too
It's an X.
traumatized.
You're right.
We've
Maybe we
also
should
had
just
too
move
much
on.
trauma. Like,
I'm trying to think of anything funny, but it's all just like funny in that sad, ha ha kind of way. Like,
Like it's funny now that there's distance between it.
What's the
Yeah,
last
but,
thing
like-
y'all watched on content-wise?
Kevin can fuck himself.
Okay.
That's a good one. What was I just watching? I've honestly been putting on like 5-hour-long videos. The most recent one was an in-depth analysis of Naruto.
Oh,
You know,
Let's go.
I'll keep it. I want everybody to finish this question, but I'm gonna piggyback off that. Sunny, what's the last thing you watched?
I watched The Strangers with Monty.
Okay. I don't think I've seen that before.
It's a horror movie, but it's like more of a thriller. But I've been wanting to watch it for a while now. I liked it. It wasn't great. It was good though. But I
1 out of 10.
probably a 5. It wasn't a bad
Yeah.
movie, but
Would not recommend.
no, I would recommend it. But it just
People you
I
don't
guess
like.
it wasn't. I guess it wasn't super scary to me as I would have thought.
Okay. What about you, Psycho? What's the last thing you watched?
I've been watching anime kind of as of lately. So I've kind of been rewatching stuff with my girl. So I've been rewatching Naruto.
Hey.
That's fucking
Yeah.
weird. I just started reading the manga.
No way.
Yeah, she just messaged me about that today.
Hey, that's what's up.
Now, to piggyback on what you were saying, have y'all ever heard about femcels?
Yes.
Yes.
So recently I watched a video essay that was talking about how first...
What's a femcel?
Female incel.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, how would that work?
Me in high school.
Involuntarily celibate. That's what it is.
Okay.
This is a thing. So I watched a video essay. So the history of the word incel, it was actually created by a woman back in the 80s. And it already included all genders. It was literally just someone who was involuntarily celibate, which meant like they just could not for the life of them have coitus with anybody. But recently, Incel got taken over by like right-wingist and kind of like, you know, angry men.
Misogynists and yeah.
Exactly. So obviously it was no longer a female space, so they had to have their own coin, which is Femcel. And I was watching a video essay, and they were talking about the dichotomy between the two words and how incel is more of an insult in a political ideology versus femcel, which is almost more of like an aesthetic. And they said that the aesthetic consists of like a bingo chart, which is like severely mentally ill, bed rots, has glasses and brown hair, watches long video essays on any sort of PS2 horror video game with a female lead, and a bunch of others.
Yo, am I a femcel? What the fuck?
That's what I'm
The
saying!
definition of femcel I learned when I learned what a femcel was.
When was the last time you learned about femcel? Because it's become an aesthetic.
Well, to be fair, it's probably been a couple years, but I used to be like really heavy into like, you know, watching people who read like Reddit posts and stuff. And when you watch that kind of content, one of the biggest kind of content is like incel post and femcel post and stuff like that, or like stories
Neckbeards and leg beards,
of
yeah.
femcels you've interacted with and stuff like that. So like what I learned the term, I guess, is the more like less aesthetic version, more of the category that some type of people are put into, I guess.
Can I get political for a sec?
Go ahead.
I find it low-key misogynistic, the fact that incel is seen, you know, it's male-dominated, it is mostly used to discuss males, and it is seen as a political ideology, and similar to that, whereas femcel, which is for women, is seen as an aesthetic, which I think is disgusting because it just is another example where women are seen as concepts instead of people, and their ideologies and their lives are not taken as seriously as men, because femcels and incels are the same. It's just one is taken, like, one is looked at politically and the other is looked at as a quirky little, personality type.
Because everything a woman has to do has to be aestheticized or sexualized or put in some way that it's easily consumable. And,
Exactly.
See, I think
enjoyable to the eye.
I have almost the same but opposite perspective. I believe the reason why incels are politicized and it's become like an ideology for manifestos is because hurt men have more of a capacity to become violent than hurt women, as testosterone causes more, obviously, like an aggressive reaction versus estrogen. So I feel like it is based on the statistics of men transgressing with religious ideology or like social ideologies versus women.
That makes
See,
sense, especially when there's guys like, fuck, I forget his name. He's the Incel King is what people call him. He committed a mass shooting in a dormitory and left a manifesto.
Like, if that never happened, I'm sure Incel would just be looked at as nerdy men and awkward men. But because you have historical moments of Incelism essentially being used as manifestos, and you don't have that in the counter perspective of Femcels, like, you can't tell me the name of a Femcel who went and shot up a bunch of people because they were a Femcel. And I think that's why there's a distinction.
Well, what about that girl in Japan that everyone was lusting over? The, like, real life yandere is what they called her, and she had, like, murdered her crush because he didn't like her back and was, like, obsessed with him and was, like, into femcel culture.
Is this the girl who was paying for a guy at a host club?
I don't believe so. I think that's more recent. Let me look it up, though. I'm gonna do some
say that I imagine that, like, Japanese, or if we're talking like Asian incel culture is different than American incel culture.
Can I just say, like, chime in real quick though?
Yeah.
One, towards your point, Sam, about how, or Swillow, about how, like, there's not a lot of, like, icons of violence among, like, femcels.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what you're not taking into account that when women get angry, violence is not the way. Like, I think female killers only take up like 8% of the serial killers, and women are just not as, like, ready to go to violence.
With that said, though, there is also a large population of men who don't report violence against them with women. So I also will dispute that there may be skewed statistics there. Please continue. My bad.
Yeah, but like, if you take captured murderers, like murderers who have been found and tried and proven guilty, only 8% of them are women. Or, like, I don't know if that's the official number. That's the amount of serial killers that have been women of caught people, caught serial killers. But, like, I think it's less of, honestly, incel becoming more religious, or not religious, what's the term? Political, has been more in the last couple years than it originally was, because I feel like it was just, before, it was just a bunch of vulnerable men who were venting their frustration, and vulnerable men are easily kind of tainted towards a certain viewpoint by that vulnerability of being lonely, of not having, so, like, it's not so much like
instinctual.
It's just men who are in the situation where they might be considered an incel are at the perfect point for somebody to kind of indoctrinate them into a certain point of view, and those type of men usually seek out groups of other lonely men, and if they happen to run across the groups of lonely men that already believe in that ideology, they too are very susceptible to falling into that mindset.
True.
So I actually have a question, because we have 2 dudes in chat right now. I have heard a lot that there is at least on YouTube, a very strong leaning towards men to try, like, towards the right wing kind of pipeline of the Andrew Tate, the Fresh and Fit podcast. Is that something that you guys experience being recommended to you a lot in your feeds? That kind of content of, like, here's how to trick women into having sex with you, here's how to, you know, things like that?
No.
Okay. What about you, Psycho?
I've seen some Andrew Tate things pop up, but usually
Okay.
Y'all gonna have to give us more than that.
Well,
one second, my bad. Hold up.
I guess
got a
like
call.
me as a male, like I mean, like, sex and stuff isn't my priority, so that might have something to do with it. I feel like many men can be like really lonely, like not just sexually but also romantically lonely. But it's just not my priority, so maybe that's also why I don't get recommended such content.
Okay.
You're saying
Yeah.
that we only got recommended the Femcel video, or I only got recommended the Femcel video because I'm a Femcel?
No, I didn't even know you. I recommended that.
Oh.
I think it depends on what you are paying attention to and what you're actively looking at. Because, like, I only came across Femcel content from a long line of adding to the algorithm of certain things. Like, I started listening to creepypastas, which brought me
True.
into listening to people read stories, and then reading stories became reading Reddit posts, reading Am I the Asshole? And then that turned into Dungeons and Dragons Reddit post, and you know, it just kind of like, I feel like that kind of content only, there's like specific things that if you look up online, like how to get a date, or like how to make girls like you, certain things like that will then ping certain content that'll bring up the how to get a date and things, and then bring up the Andrew Tate stuff, and then it'll start bringing up Charlie Kirk, and then it'll start bringing up, like, you know,
Who's that?
alt-right
Oh.
Nazi stuff. It is,
He's a right-wing debater.
Oh.
yeah, it's just political shit. But like, I feel like the issue with the algorithm is that if you look up very specific things that, especially lonely males who can't, you know, get a date, get a girlfriend, don't understand why they're not liked, they go to that kind of content, and then that leads them, you know, to the alt-right or
Rabbit hole.
Nazism or any of that, just because that's the way the algorithm kind of shifts them.
It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
listen to a lot of, like, extremely left-wing podcasts and YouTubers, and I still, no matter how many times I click I'm not interested, still get recommended, like, Jordan Peterson videos and Charlie
Absolutely.
Kirk videos, and, like, if you click on those, of course, then it's gonna be the Fresh and Fit podcast, and then from there it's Andrew Tate, and then next thing you know, you have just nothing but videos about how to get women to work for you, how to, you know, get that Sigma grind set, that alpha male, or what type of, are you an alpha or a beta male? And I think that's kind of the pipeline.
Exactly.
I'll be honest. I feel like if you had to put me on a spectrum, I'm not super political, but if I were to be put on one, I'd probably be in the middle.
Centrist?
Yeah.
Well, considering I'm both
Or libertarian.
technically a female and kind of trans, I'm heavy left. So, like, my content that's showing up should not be in any possible way right leaning.
Well,
but it
you
still
forget
pops up.
most content that you see is rage bait. So you are actually the target audience because that's who engages the most in the comments, or people who are upset at the content. So that's exactly why you're getting it in your algorithm.
I never
'Cause-
click on them. I don't watch
No,
them.
it is.
at
It's not
all.
about you. It's simply about the fact that the people who comment the most on those videos are people arguing the opposite side. So if you are in the same demographic as the people arguing, you are going to get those based on the fact that people in the same political sphere as you are engaging with this post a lot. That's why you're getting those. Because the people who believe in what you believe in are engaging negatively with that post because they don't believe in it. And that's why rage bait is like 90% of the content that you see. Is because the algorithm says, oh, a lot of people who believe X are interacting with this TikTok. Not saying like it has nothing to do with what the TikTok actually is. It's all about what's getting interacted
Who's
with.
interacting with it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm a full-blown socialist, so that's where I'm on the political spectrum.
You goddamn commie.
I'm a
I
goddamn commie. Let's go.
What are politics?
I don't know
Right,
enough about the
right.
names or the
Long live
terms
Palestine.
to
That's
call
all I gotta
myself
say.
anything. I just think that certain things should be a right to certain people, and I just think that if anything the government is doing is actively trying to talk or manage my own body, they could burn down and fuck off for all I care.
I think the views
like, I
that
don't know
put
where-
me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just, I don't know where that puts me on the political spectrum, so I don't even.
I think the views that put me central are views like gun laws, like common speech laws, gender roles. I do like me some, like if I'm with a man, I expect him to be of a man gender role. Like I don't want an effeminate man. I understand it's preference, like it's nothing wrong to be in spectrums, but I personally want that, and I feel like if we abolish the idea of gender roles, it would be hard pressed to get someone to follow that because it requires like, you know, to kind of like to feel like you have your honor within that role. But like I want someone in that honor to be in that role type shit.
But then you find somebody who shares that same value. Not every, just because there's no specific like.
I just don't want
law or
the
anything that-
value to be abolished from
See,
culture.
I'm not a full-blown gender abolitionist, but I do believe that we should have a less gendered society just
Yes, that's
because,
fair.
for example, the right-wing pipeline, the only reason it exists is because of the fact that men are pushed into these roles of having sex is the ultimate thing. I need to be making money. I need to be getting bitches. I need to live this masculine lifestyle. And that is pressured on them from such a young age. That's why the right-wing pipeline can suck them in so easily. So I don't think we need to abolish gender roles. I don't think we need to abolish gender entirely. I just think we need to make it more so of a personal relationship instead of a societal expectation.
Exactly.
Although I will say though, with the examples you gave, I would say those are essentially like negative side effects if the gender role has affected you poorly. Whereas
Toxic
like
masculinity.
exactly, that would be examples of toxic masculinity. Whereas when performed correctly and when you're of sane mind, it would be more like the values of honor and discipline and like taking on brunt work in order to lessen the load on those around you. Like
Does that have to be
the
gendered,
idea
though? Why does it have to be a
because
masculine
I'm straight,
trait?
because I
But then
want to
that's
be with
like,
a man, and I don't want that
are
man
you
to think that
not-
I need to do that. That's the
Do
whole
you
dynamic.
not go work with honor? Do you not pick up the slack when somebody is slacking? Do you just sit back and say, "Oh well, that's not my job"? No, you don't. I know you. You don't. You are always there to pick up any slack that's needed. You're always there. You're getting that bag. You are doing things that are not the traditional feminine role. And like I think that yes, like I see why you want those roles. I feel like giving the option to anybody to live by whatever gender role they wish to live in is not going to destroy because there's always going to be guys. Hell, my lovely boyfriend, he is very open with his emotions. He's very in touch, very in tune, very emotionally mature, and he still is very proud of his manliness. He's still very proud of and very macho and very like, oh, I'm a man, I have honor, I have my manly honor. But it's not because he was forced to have that point of view. It's because he likes that about himself, and he's gonna keep that point of view. Whether we, like, I'll make it more common where you can choose whatever expression you want for your
my
existence.
point of view doesn't say that this is the only way. In fact, I wouldn't want to be with someone who felt forced into that, because then they would become bitter and resentful of the role that they would be in. I want someone who's happy to be in that role. I'm saying I don't want that role abolished from the culture. I want that role to exist for those who wish to choose that, because that's who I want in my partner. And it mostly boils down to providing. So like, I don't want to have the worry that I need to make the most money. I want to know that I can be provided for. So like, if, for example, I do want to work. Like, I think it's justifiable for me to want someone who can provide for me, because I have the intention of working a career with a good work ethic that could have the possibility of making a lot of money. So with the intention of I could possibly one day return the favor, I want someone who could 100% be like, I see you, I see what you're doing. I'm going to take the responsibility of providing for you and making sure you have the opportunities in your future. And that comes from a sense of sacrifice and a sense of honor and a sense of the discipline being able to do so. And like, I want that someone who can be like, I'm happy to sacrifice my time to make sure that our life is perfect. And like, I want that. So like, that is attached to a gender role, whether we can make sure in the future it has nothing to do with gender, but it is simply a way of being. I'm a straight person, so I expect it from a man. So just like instinctually, I'm gonna say I want my man to act this way, which applies it to be a gendered role. But irregardless, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I simply want that to exist and to be something not looked down upon, so that people can come into it happily. Because societally, things that are accepted are more likely to happen. Like, if people are more likely to come out happily gay if it's accepted in society. So I want it to be a perfect balance, to where if I want me
that's what I was...
modernly traditional man, then I can have that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Not gender abolitionism, but gender freedom.
Exactly.
Like, if I gotta say, I don't think there's anybody who's not, obviously radicalized, who is actually truly seeking gender abolitionism in any true sense. Like, socially, it is not a popular trend.
You're implying that, like, in your response to me, you implied that this idea would be forced onto someone. So I'm saying, like, in an idea of a spectrum, there is no force, there is only choice, but I want to make sure that choice exists.
Yeah,
but
we're just talking about how in current culture, it is forced on people.
Yeah, and if you don't force it on people, it's not gonna disappear. If you don't go, oh, well, you're a man, you have to hide your emotions, you're not allowed to cry, you have to be the breadwinner. There are still gonna be men who grow up with that ideology. Oh, I want to be a man, I want to provide for a woman, I want to be that. But that allows the little trans kid who's growing up a boy, who still doesn't know that they're trans, to not have that beaten into them, and because they can't fulfill that specific role, feel like they're,
I see that. No, I understand that.
It's still gonna exist. It is just, in current culture, it is the expectation instead of a choice. And that's what it boils down to, is it should be a choice, not an expectation.
Of course. We're all agreeing on that. I guess my only point of saying so is because most times when it comes to balancing out social norms, you have overcorrection first and then balance. So obviously most people have the intention of it's a negative thing. So like that's why the only reason why I say this is because like for example, like when you mentioned earlier, you mentioned only negative traits of masculinity, and like in Chris's response, it was about negative implications of forced gender roles. But I think all of our sentiments exist within the same reality which we currently live in, which is like there are two different like dynamics. There is force, there is choice, and there's both on either like end. But I understand there also has to be overcorrection because there has been a stipulation of any other living dynamic.
Yeah, so I agree with you about
it.
wanting like a masculine man. Like that's what I want too. I want someone who I want to be able to be soft and kind and loving,
Yes.
and I want someone who can, you know, help uplift me in that, and who can have my back and be, you know, I do like traits of masculinity in my partners, and that's what I look for.
I guess I say this because I went into my relationship being like, it's 50-50. I didn't have any expectations of him as a man of a gender role. Like, I didn't have that, like, a traditional expectation whatsoever until we started living together, and I was like, oh, this is serious, and I actually would want to be with someone who provides for me. Like, I don't want to have to worry about that. I want someone who could just be like, hey, can I get this? Like, can you go get me some food? And it'd be no problem. Or like pays the majority. Like, if you make more than me, it makes no other sense for you to be paying more than me type shit.
Yeah.
So like,
is it okay if I finish my point? Sorry.
yes, go ahead.
So like I do like that masculinity in my partners, but the thing is, I want to make sure that the person who is that way is acting that way because that is what is in their heart, and that is what is going to make them feel satisfied and happy in a relationship, and not that they're doing it because they saw movies and, you know, or because they felt some societal pressure, because otherwise 10 years down the line, when we're in that dynamic, and they're gonna grow resentful of I'm paying these fucking bills, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and you're taking care of the kids, like, and that's kind of, I think we all completely agree. I think we all just, I don't know. I think we all just completely agree that we just want people to have gender roles based on what they want in their heart, not based on any societal pressure.
100%. Yeah, because like if you're forced into it, you're just gonna get bitter and resentful, and like nobody wants that either.
Facts.
I want you to be a prince and want to be a prince and then feel proud of your princeliness type shit. Like, I want you to be proud of whatever you are. I just say prince because that's what I want.
And you should be allowed to have whatever standards for your partner. So if that's what you want in a partner, you should always communicate that to your partner. And if they can't provide that with you, you find a partner who can.
Yep. Y'all want to take a shot? I'm getting a little sober.
Yeah.
Let's take this shot to our aspirations, our dreams, our discipline, and our pussy that creams.
Right.
Cheers, everybody.
Oh my god.
Cheers.
Catch our merch line, Coitus Kills, and Creamy Club Gang.
Nope.
Creamy Club Gang.
Sunny, is your pussy creamy?
I wish.
Also, did y'all realize, to our viewers out there, I don't know if y'all have noticed this, no one has commented this. It's kind of like that feeling of like if you have something in your teeth and no one says anything and you realize at the end of the night it's there. We have misspelt our thumbnail.
Hey, don't put us into your. It's not.
No,
not,
because
it's not we. It's not
I
we.
sent you little fuckers the thumbnail for agreement, and no one caught it, so we all misspelt this fucker. We don't have an H. There's no H in Chronically in the last 5 episodes.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that so much.
Oh
Leave
no.
it. Don't change it.
We all have fucking ADHD. I swear to God.
No, here's the thing. If we keep it, people will rage bait interact to tell us that we're wrong.
There you go. That's that rage bait algorithm. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Sunny, say something that will make me angry.
I hate the whole,
Sorry.
I hate the whole rage bait thing.
Sunny, say something that'll rage bait our audience right now.
Huh. Could say many things.
Say something.
No.
Say
Don't get us
one thing.
canceled.
No. I'm
One
not
thing.
gonna-
One thing.
No.
Just say one thing.
No.
Please,
Let's
please.
check
No.
on birth control. Men should
No.
be circumcised.
No, I'm not. No.
I'm totally down for circumcision. You know, that's so funny. Me and Sunny were talking about this off podcast the other day in a different group chat. I'm totally down for circumcision, bro. Like, it just looks better.
When was that? When were we talking about this?
I could have
Not
sworn we were
circumcised,
talking
but
about
the
this.
term. Not
Look.
circumcised. That's not the
Look,
term
no.
I was thinking.
If we no, I think people need to learn how to wash their penises.
What's the term? Damn it!
Yo, I'm anti-circumcision.
Go ahead,
I
Chris.
just- Okay.
It's not circumcision. It's when the guys can no longer, like,
Vasectomy.
have babies. Yeah, women shouldn't go on birth control. Men should get vasectomies.
How do you feel about that, Psycho?
You said to rage bait, so
Psycho, go on.
I want to make babies.
Be open with us. We know you're holding back something, an opinion right now. You're on a podcast. Spill your fucking guts right now, bro.
What are you talking about?
How do you feel about circumcision?
no vasectomies.
Sorry, vasectomies, my bad. Both. ¿Por qué no las dos?
I like popping my little hoodie on every now and then.
Whoa!
gets cold.
It
Whoa!
gets cold every now and then, you feel me? Like,
Oh my gosh.
Gets a little cold.
I love
Oh my
this
god,
podcast.
these two
I love my
fucking
homies.
uncircumcised bitch. Uncircumcised gang, that's
No.
our third merch. That's the third t-shirt we're making.
Here's the thing, I'm not against circumcision. I just believe that it is a choice that someone should be able to make for themselves. I don't think we should just
No.
automatically circumcise kids. I
Hell
think
no.
that people as adults should be like, I want to get circumcised.
Hell
I think
no.
it looks better.
Hear me out. Hear me out. If I was a man and I didn't get circumcised as a child, I would be mad if I wanted circumcision because then I have to go do a painful process that I will remember for the rest of my life, and there is medical trauma. That's a real thing. They don't remember it as
Alternative thing.
babies.
See, but reverse it. What if you got
version.
circumcised and you can't undo it?
Well, your dick's cleaner, and realistically, in my opinion, it looks
That's not-
nicer.
That's
so
not true.
deal
That's not
with
true.
it.
No, that's not true.
It
Some-
reduces sensitivity.
Learn how to clean it.
They still come fast. What are you talking about? Dudes come so fast.
Yeah.
There's a whole conversation that women take so much longer to come than dudes. Dudes don't need any extra help. They're
What?
fine.
I'ma say it, hand jobs and blow jobs are so much easier on someone who's uncircumcised.
My man comes pretty quick. Anyways.
That sounds like a
Sam,
problem with your man.
Shut up.
Damn.
Hey, I'm saying he ain't got no problem with sensitivity, and he's circumcised. That's all I gotta say.
Hello. Think about
What?
this though. Do you know how many times that circumcisions go wrong and
No, I don't
young
think about that.
like little kids will literally be they'll get pain when they get erect. They'll not be able to pee right. It won't form correctly, so it forms weird. Circumcision fucks up a lot of kids' shit. I'm just saying, it is science. Like,
Have you
not
ever met
every-
someone who told you that they had problems from a circumcision?
Yes, actually.
Who? Who?
I had like 2 different friends whose no, 100%. One of them, they fucked it up. So every time he got erect, it was a friend's boyfriend. Every time he got erect, it would be painful and it would stretch incorrectly. And he years later ended up getting a surgery on it to try to get it, and it still didn't fix all the way. It still doesn't have. He lost feeling after that surgery, so it doesn't feel good, and it still hurts him a little bit.
oh man.
The first dude I ever had sex with, the guy who I mentioned burning his t-shirt in episode 1. Everyone go listen to episode 1. That guy, do you know what a keloid is?
What is a
Oh
keloid?
yeah.
So it's a type of scarring, and a keloid scar is those big, raised, bumpy scars. And about I think it's
Oh.
this
Extra
percentage is coming to me from God. 10% of people get keloid scars, and
We love the red texture.
yeah, my first boyfriend, when he would get erect, it would hurt, and he had these big red scars all around where his circumcision was. And it was extremely painful and uncomfortable for him, and he was really insecure about his dick because his dick was lumpy.
All right, okay. Look, all I gotta say, I googled it. I fucking googled it. It is 0.2% that circumcisions are botched. So y'all fucking meant a rarity, okay? And also,
0.2 and how many?
let's be real.
First of all,
let's put this. Hold on, let's make a comparison. No, let's make a comparison of the statistic. How many people are unhygienic to how many people have botched circumcisions? I do not want unhygienic, uncircumcised penis as the fucking average dick in our culture. No,
then
thank you.
We as women need to just not. We as women need to step up and just be like, I'm not gonna fuck a dude with a gross dick.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Circumcised guys get gross dicks just as much. You just have to clean it. If you're not cleaning
It's easier to
yourself, right,
clean. We already have a
That's
whole
not
culture
true.
of men not washing their ass. To clean a circumcised dick, it just takes a soap bar to the skin. That's fine. When it comes to circumcised, you gotta get in the skin. Psycho knows what I'm talking about,
You
right?
can still be thorough though. Like it doesn't.
I'm not
saying.
saying. Look, I'm not saying circumcised dick is dirty. I'm saying the percentage to become dirty is higher, and based on the history of hygiene in men in America, they have a higher propensity to have a dirty circumcised penis versus an uncircumcised penis due to the convenience of cleaning.
Love your switching
That's
it
my
up. You said it backwards.
my bad. I'm drunk. Y'all know what I mean though.
I just
I get you.
disagree of doing it on children without their consent
don't remember.
and all.
My bad.
But I
My
also
bad. Let me
think
stop.
Childhood piercings. I'm against
That's different though.
piercing your kids.
Actually, I'm not
I
against that
view it
either.
as the same thing.
I got my ears pierced when I was a baby, and then did I?
No,
I-
you didn't.
Are you sure? Because I remember being very young and
100%.
going to the mall with one of Dad's girlfriends and getting my ears pierced.
Like 7. You were not an infant.
Yeah.
People get their screaming infants' ears pierced. I do
Yeah,
not
but that's
agree
not
with
for
that.
a medical reason or a religious reason.
So that, circumcision is also technically not for a fucking medical or it's because
You're
they
right.
didn't want
You got
them
me
to
on that.
masturbate.
You got me on that. You got it. It's based on societal culture and aesthetics at this point. To most people that are not specifically Jewish or Christian, that's fair. And even in my case, I probably just I guess I never thought about if a doctor came up to me and was like, "Do you want me to do this?" I guess I would say yes though, because I guess that is kind of weird, because it's I don't like uncircumcised penises, so I would choose that, but
Have you ever
I
been
guess
with one?
that's kind of weird. I've gotten pictures of an uncircumcised. Actually,
Well,
yes.
Pictures
Actually,
is
yes.
different. Pictures is different.
No, I take it back. I have. The thin penis guy, Julian, from 2 episodes back.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just it was kind of weird. There's a lot of skin, and it's you gotta pull it
so
back.
picky.
You gotta pull it back, and it's just I've been with a female.
That makes it easier.
I don't like the vagina because of all the skin. Okay, I'm not a fan of the vagina because of that.
She likes her men skinless.
Thank you. Yes, no skin would be the best, honestly. Nothing, just statue-like. I
Just
don't want to
flesh.
feel moving parts. You know what I mean?
But you're allowed to have that preference, and you're allowed to only want to fuck people who are circumcised. It just, when it becomes you expect this of other people instead of them being able to make that
No.
choice themselves.
When you say expect of other people, you imply your child, right?
I imply culturally. That's what I was trying to
I don't
imply.
care if the next dude has a circumcised or uncircumcised penis. Like, I'm not like when Psycho said he had an uncircumcised dick, I'm not like, banned, get out of here. You know, I'm not like racist against the extra skin, but like we also have to admit that the idea of a child is in itself an extension of a current living culture and legacy, and the idea of policing different children and cultures is kind of like a modern idea, because we've become a huge society versus like a tribal society where the family dynamic is what was like the controlling ideology type shit, where obviously both have their own negative connotations, but like we have to give acknowledgement that there is a justifiable nature to a family passing down beliefs, because it is the family. Like that's the extension.
What do you think if the family's belief is that women need to get their clits cut off when they are infants?
Obviously, as
female
someone,
circumcision.
hear me out. Of course, I understand. As someone who is not a part of that family extension, that's disgusting. But there's no way to deny that that family extension exists because of the dynamic within the family. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that there will be a propensity for families to want to push on their own ideologies, which is why we have circumcised. Like, you just have to expect that. Most, like, a mother will always want to teach the child, or the father will always want to teach the child what they think, because obviously what someone thinks is what they think is best.
Yeah,
like, that's
but
just
what
human
they
nature.
think is differently than physically maiming them. Like, you are physically
Yes, I'm
altering
not
a person
defending.
before they can possibly consent or come to that decision themselves. Whether it's in your like culture to do so or not, does not make it still okay.
Do you think a baby has the ability to consent, irregardless?
Oh my gosh, you keep saying irregardless is not a word, Sam. It's just regardless.
I like irregardless, and I'm gonna use it.
Your mother would be driven insane right now.
I don't care. Irregardless of what I say it. Irregardless. They should just say irregardless. It sounds better. Like, I just like it. It just sounds better. Okay?
It does sound better. I do agree.
Thank you, Lilac. Thank you, Lilac. I don't give a shut up, Chris. I got a second opinion. She likes it. I don't give a fuck.
Irregardless.
You're a double negative. That's why you're mad. You see reflection in yourself in the language I speak, okay? If you're insecure, it's not my fault.
It's not my insecurity. It's your inaccuracy of the English language.
That's okay. If you're confident, it doesn't matter the mistakes you make, because you know I got it, okay?
I know.
Regardless.
I said it 50 times now, and I couldn't not say something.
We'll just put a counter up of how many times Swilla says irregardless or regardless wrong.
Saying you should, because I swear.
Look, I'm kind of stupid, okay? But you know, this is a podcast about opinions, and I like circumcised dick.
Yeah.
Honestly, all I know is if I ever did have children, and any of them were born male, they would not be circumcised.
Yeah.
Look, I think
okay.
I think as a society, if we circumcise every male, they're not gonna learn proper self-hygiene.
That's cap.
Because like if you don't clean your I feel like I don't know what I'm saying, but men just have to learn how to clean down there. Circumcised or not.
If a man was born without genitals, essentially, or like
intersex.
So you're saying if someone was born intersex, they wouldn't know how to clean themselves?
No, I'm not. What?
No,
I'm saying.
But I understand
you're implying the difficulty of the task
No,
equals
I'm just saying
the ability to do so. I'm saying that men can learn to clean themselves irregardless of the extra skin on their penis.
No, I'm just saying everybody needs to learn.
Oops, sorry.
I'm just saying. Wow, my bad.
No, you go.
I'm dead.
I'm just saying that every guy should learn how to clean down there.
Yeah. But you're implying that if they did, but you said that if they were more circumcised people, they would be less hygienic. people.
Ollie.
Here's the thing. Look at
I don't believe
countries. Look at America, where circumcision is the norm, and look at our hygiene and how we have trouble with men thinking it's gay to wash their own ass. Versus look at other cultures where circumcision is not normal and hygiene tends to be a lot higher. Statistics.
Cat. Tell me a place. Tell me a place. Tell me a place right now. They have a. Are they uncircumcised?
They have a whole culture of being hygienic and everything.
Is Japan?
But, okay, so I think actually here is the whole biggest crux of this. I feel like the education of young men of how to properly clean themselves is not given enough importance, because there are countless guys that I grew up who never truly got taught how to clean themselves in a proper way, and I feel like if there were more of a focus on teaching your children that kind of cleanliness, because honestly, I never got told how to properly clean myself. I got told go into the bathroom, wipe yourself with a towel, use the soap, use the conditioner, that's it. But nobody actually shows you or tells you how to clean your body. At least I wasn't taught that.
Here's my point of contention in regards to what Lilac said about Japan. You're right. I googled it. It says even today, circumcision at birth remains extremely rare in Japan. I will give you that. But are you equating the cleanliness of Japan's culture with the fact that they have extra skin on their penis? Or in my opinion, would it be the fact that they teach their children in the school, in the home, that they have to clean? Like, you clean your classroom every day in Japan, and we don't have that in America. I think the cleanliness of Japan has nothing to do with the fact that they don't circumcise. It's because the culture in itself is more cleanly.
I'm just saying, a lot of European countries, too, don't do circumcision. Circumcision is really something that's mostly done in America. It's not really common in a lot of other cultures and countries. And we're not hearing about mass smegma outbreaks in fucking London or some shit. Like, we're not hearing about how dirty Frenchmen's dicks are.
I don't know, but it just doesn't. I'm okay with there being one place in the world where you can go to where the penises don't have extra skin. Like, that's okay. It's okay. Go for example, that's a minority in the world, okay? Circumcised dicks are a minority, therefore they deserve special protections. That's my opinion.
If it weren't for the fact that it's done on babies, I would not be opposed to it.
Yeah.
But it's done on babies. And
I argue to you, if it's gonna happen one way or another, it is actually more beneficial to happen as a child when you don't remember it. You literally don't remember anything. You're gonna cry and hurt as a child. Like the amount of pain you go through as a baby when your teeth grow in is probably even more painful than that. You know what I mean? Like, the idea of being a baby is not a painful experience is crazy. Like, it is. It's a painful experience. That's probably why you don't remember it. So, like, if you're gonna get a medical, surgery, that you're gonna get inevitably, you might as well get it done when it's most likely easier to perform anyways. Actually, before I say that, I'll retract that statement because I don't know if that's true. I assume it's easier to perform anyways. And like for example, when I was a child, when I didn't have to pay for medical stuff, I would have rather gotten medical surgeries and dental stuff done. Whereas now as an adult, there are ramifications of getting medical treatment, and now it's serious for me. It's the exact same mental state, but instead of financial, it's physical pain we're dealing with. So yes, there's physical pain irregardless. I'm sorry. But I would rather not remember it if I wanted my dick cut. Like, for example, say that circumcision on the female body wasn't literally sewing up the pussy, but was
There's different types of female circumcision. There is ones that sew up the pussy. There's ones that just remove the clitoral hood. There are ones that remove the clit and the labia. It's different depending on different cultures.
Like, Okay, so yeah, I imagine if you put it to the opposite gender, it may sound shocking at first, but say we had countless centuries of female vaginas being like specifically like extra skin being cut off, right, to prevent from, you could say, pain from extended labias that people actually go into surgery later in life to get removed as a medical process, or also as an aesthetic thing. I would say, as a female who, in result of that, had a beautiful vagina, I would say, yeah, I'm glad that this happened when I was a child and I didn't remember it at all, and now I can benefit from what happened, type shit. So yes, I still agree 100% on the flip side. That's my opinion. I don't mind it.
There is no benefit to female circumcision. There is zero benefit.
Well, I'm just saying, hear me out. A lot of females have insecurity about the shape of the lips and how like porn industries have made you think that a perfect pussy has like perfect even lips and like perfectly pink. So I imagine that we would have less, not to advocate that we should start doing this. It's simply a hypothetical if this was a part of the culture and I was a part of it and I had to be in that. Like, if the culture was the standard and the norm is making sure a woman grew up with a quote-unquote a cleanly or perfect pussy by cutting off the lips, not the clitoral hood, or I mean, I guess the clitoral hood maybe, but not the clit, or closing up the pussy, because that's kind of not equatable to circumcision, that I would be fine if that was the norm to happen as a child versus in adulthood, because then I would already have been benefiting from it.
Why not confront the culture that says that certain pussies are ugly? Why not, instead of challenging the cultural expectation, and why would we instead choose to mutilate children instead of harm babies and change their physiology and risk complications? Why would we do that instead of just being like, hey, all pussies are good. If you have an extenuating circumstance where your labia makes you uncomfortable, get surgery to fix it. But you shouldn't feel like your labia is bad unless it is actually medically harmful.
That's fair. With that said, so we're talking in a world where this is already the current norm. So if you wanted to take the stance of, no, I want to see change, you would have to understand that your kid may experience the change of that dynamic. So before it gets good, there's always a bad point. There's always going to be a huge pushback. So it's more of a risk reward. Does your ideologies outweigh the possible ramifications of going against that change? And is it important enough to you and to the people around you to do so? And for me, when I weigh that, which I 100% agree with, I agree with you doing that with things in your life. If you really care about something, you should do that. It requires that sacrifice. It requires going against social norms. But I think to myself, do I weigh the importance of that norm with the idea of changing it? And does the value of changing that norm weigh enough to do so? And to me, it's no, because like I said, if I put my shoes in the person having that done to them and I go, that's not that bad, because we are currently in a society where that is the norm. And the idea that there will never, norms just change. There will always be norms. That's just what happens in society. So I feel like the idea of changing a norm is almost in the same natural state as being in a norm. So I don't think one or the other is wrong. I think they're both natural states. It just depends on which you choose to be in. So I don't think that going with a social norm is bad in itself, especially when we're talking about
morality on social norms, because there have been social norms for centuries that are harmful.
Of course.
I mean, child brides are a social norm in some parts of America still.
That's my next point, is now we're talking about, well, what is the social norm? The importance of changing it. That's the second part of the equation. Is the importance to change it valuable to me? I say no, because I take benefit in that social norm. Say the social norm, I argue it isn't that harmful, because if I wanted that, I would have wanted it to happen as a child. And I I personally have not talked to a circumcised person that didn't dislike it, if not for it being botched, which just implies that when it's done wrong, it's bad, which is the case for every single thing in the world, which is not something like, just because surgeries go bad doesn't mean we shouldn't do them type shit. It's about the ideology behind the surgery and if it's beneficial. And if we're talking about aesthetics, I think aesthetics will always be a part of culture, and it's just one aesthetic to another. So, like, I feel like if you're fighting against the idea of what's not fair if it's aesthetic, but, like, I feel like it's almost, in a sense, going to just be another aesthetic after the other. We're never going to abolish the idea of social norms in a culture. And if it's not harmful, and I argue that it isn't harmful, that's my importance weighing. So I don't find it very important type shit. Like, I find social norms like misogyny, racism, self-abuse, bad family dynamics, littering, any sort of social norms when it comes to censorship, speech, even like algorithms. Like, I think there's obviously things to change when it comes in social norms, but on my opinion, I like skin with no dick. I mean, I like dick with no skin. So.
You like skin with no dick. You heard it here, everyone. Swillow likes skin with no dick.
Yep. And if I was a man who was uncircumcised and like, I obviously would be the same person with the same opinions, I would be like, Mom, why didn't you circumcise me as a baby when I didn't remember it? So, like, I would want that. So,
See,
I'm advocating for something I want.
That is assuming you want it as an adult.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which I obviously is easy to do because I want it as an adult right now.
You don't have you are not the person who
I have an opinion on what looks better, which is across the board for everybody.
Living with it is better. Like, you
but again, botched surgeries is not the rule, it is the exception.
I'll give
not
Swallow.
even talking about botched.
Yes, you are. You're implying that living with it is a negative thing, but that would only be so if it's botched. We already explained that dudes come all the time very easily. Sensitivity is obviously influenced by far more factors than the circumcision, because I've met people circumcised who can come super easily.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about there is not a guarantee that every guy who doesn't get a botched circumcision but has a circumcision is gonna be like, yeah, I love my circumcision. There is very much possibility that just because they them personally themselves, maybe they're a gay dude and they don't like circumcised dicks, but now instead of being able to make the choice to get circumcised, they can't get uncircumcised. That's not a possibility that they're allowed to make because that decision was taken from them, is where I'm coming from. I'm not.
And I'm telling you,
norms.
And what I'm saying is that, again, two things can exist at the same time. That exists, and then my perspective of, if I was a man, I as a baby cannot tell you I want my dick circumcised, but obviously there's a possibility that I would become an adult that would want a circumcised penis, as I'm a female who would theoretically want a circumcised penis and likes their circumcised penis. So with the same thinking, I would have benefited by the fact that there was a choice to get my penis cut and my parents took it. That's what I'm saying.
We could also give babies nose surgeries to make their nose look perfect. But we're not doing that.
I'll take that too.
My issue just lies, I believe. I don't think that things should be done to bodies that cannot be reversed before one can consent to it. Whether it's socially conscious, honestly, intersex babies, they get born with both genitalia and get one removed because the parents think it's easier. And then they grow up not understanding themselves because of that surgery that was done on them before they were able to consciously understand. Before they were able to make that decision of which do I feel more like? Which do I feel like I want to have more if I don't want both, you know?
But don't you think things are more gray, that like that example itself is a far more implicative situation than circumcision? Like, I feel like you can't equate two things that have two different ramifications. One is
mutation. I'm sorry.
That's, I don't think
mutilation.
that. I think I think
all
living in
mutation-
black and white refuses for you to have complex ideologies and thinking. And I think that's 100% needed for progression, to be more complex, more concept, more thoughts, not less of.
I'm just all for people doing whatever the fuck they want with their body and having the choice to do whatever they want. If circumcision was reversible, I wouldn't give a fuck. It's just not reversible, and that's why I have the feelings that I do.
That's fair.
I'll give
That's fair.
Swillow a good, like, how do I say it? I'll just
So side.
I don't know what I'm saying, but I'll give Solo like the benefit of the doubt, but that's not a good word. That's not a good like phrase to
Like
say.
points.
Sure, but like when I was younger, I used to think to myself, man, I kind of wish I was circumcised. But over the years, I just was like, actually, I have no preference, or I have no preference, but I also kind of prefer not being cut.
See, like, it's not a bad thing that you had to go through that essentially quote-unquote societal obstacle of getting through the societal norm. That obviously added to your character just as any other obstacle in life would.
Yeah, I don't think
But
it did,
again, well, like, the idea of being like, oh, I want something implied you thought that you
thought it
should
looked
have
nicer.
something else.
I thought it
Exactly.
looked nicer, but then
Exactly.
I changed my mind.
That's what I'm saying. That's a societal norm. And the process of you changing your mind added that added to your character. Like the going through that process adds to your character. But with that said, also in that moment of being like, oh, I wish I had a circumcised penis. If you did have a circumcised penis, you'd have thought to yourself, yeah, I got a circumcised penis. You know what I mean? So like, it's realistically, I don't think it's a bad thing either or.
Maybe, but
Well,
I
at
also
least-
feel like,
At least
but
he
I
still
also
has
feel,
the option to get it.
but I feel like if I
preferred to.
I feel like if I did go through with it, I don't know. It's just weird to say because I would, because if I was in my situation now, if I was circumcised, I'd be kind of, I wouldn't be okay with it. I'd be like, oh shit. If I had the same mindset,
Right.
I'd be like, oh shit, why'd I get circumcised? I didn't want this.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd have second thoughts and stuff.
So hear me
Yeah,
out.
I
If you were
personally have
against
never
the
really thought
societal
about it.
norm, you would have thought to yourself, man, I wish I was.
What?
Yep. So hear me out. Right now, in your mind, you thought to yourself, man, the societal norm is circumcised. I want to be circumcised. And you think if you, on the opposite, if you were circumcised, you would think to yourself, oh man, I want to be against the societal norms. I want to
Oh,
be
yeah.
uncircumcised.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I think it looks better.
You
I
would
also
think as a circumcised man, you would think uncircumcised look better, even if it's against societal norms.
Can you rephrase that? But can you say that again, but slower?
Yeah, my bad. So right now you're uncircumcised, and
Right.
as a child you thought to yourself at one point, I wish I was circumcised
Yeah.
because of the societal norms.
Sure. Yeah.
So you're saying in a hypothetical world where it was
Yeah.
reversed, where you were circumcised,
Yeah.
would you have thought to yourself, I wish I was circumcised, or excuse me, I wish I was uncircumcised, even though
Yeah.
it's against societal norms?
Yeah.
Why?
Like I said, I think it looks better, and I also like cleaning down there.
Hear
And
me out. Okay.
there's also a little bit different sensations.
Okay. Now hear me out. So you
Because
say
if you
would
pull
have.
if you pull it back, there's kind of like if you pull the hood
Oh.
back, if you will, there's a lot of like different sensations, and it can be a lot more sensitive.
Oh.
And I guess if you pull the hood back, there's a lot of veiny stuffs.
You're circumcised. Have you ever wished you weren't? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Beep says they're glad that they were circumcised. Anyway, continue with
Oh.
your point.
Okay. My only thing is, so you say, right now in your existence,
Yeah.
you think at that point you thought circumcised was prettier because of societal norms, implying that you in your current state and in your reality were influenced by society.
Yeah.
So if you were circumcised in the same society, you most likely would have not thought it was prettier uncircumcised, because in the same reality you would have been influenced by society. So you most likely would have said to yourself, I'm glad I'm circumcised, instead of the opposite.
No, because an uncircumcised one, if you pull the hood back,
how would you have known that as a circumcised man?
Porn.
And talking to other men, because men talk about their dicks with each other, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never, but sure.
I'm just saying that like societal norms are what they are, and you're going to be influenced by them. So like I'm sure that people who are born being quote unquote beautiful feel blessed. Like obviously, as someone who grew up not feeling very pretty, I'm sure I would have been like, damn, yes, I got blessed, I got pretty genes. So like realistically, if your dick looked quote unquote prettier compared to society norms, I'm sure you would have been happy in that moment. I'm sure you wouldn't, like, a pretty person doesn't look at themselves and go, damn, I wish I was ugly. You know, it doesn't make sense.
See, but
like,
here's
unless
the thing. That's ignoring the fact that there are countless people who do think that way. There are countless people who are circumcised who are sad that they are.
But it would probably most likely be because of botched sensations versus wanting to go against society norms. You know what I mean?
Why don't we just look up statistics? I mean,
I did. I did.
No.
That's what I'm telling you.
You looked up how many circumcisions are botched, not how many people regret circumcisions.
Ew. Okay. I didn't even think that was a stat. Let's do it.
There's statistics for everything.
I would regret it.
55% of people reported no regret, 24% had mild regret, 21 yield moderate to strong regret. So half of people have regret for their circumcisions.
Technically it's 5% under half, but I'll give you that.
Yeah, 45%, yeah.
That's still a lot.
And even if we're just looking at strong regret, that is still 1/5 of the population. That is 1 in 5 people.
That still is quiet.
Well, I was reading. Okay, so like I have. To be fair, I don't want to be like that guy. But I've got one that says a study conducted in the United States surveyed 406 men, of whom 332 were circumcised. The results showed no significant difference in regret between circumcised and uncircumcised men, suggesting that regret about circumcision is not particularly common among men in the U.S.
What website are you looking at? Just because I'm trying.
This is Springer Link, Sexuality and Research in Social Policy.
Okay, and when was that study done? Because the study I'm looking at was from April 2024 through Science Direct.
This
was
done in
Pediatric Urology.
See, this was done in 2022.
Okay. Let me look at some more studies, because there's obviously differing numbers from different studies. ResearchGate. Let me look here. Because I was just looking at the Journal of Pediatric Urology.
Chris, I just want to point out, you just quoted something. Can you even explain what that fucking means?
What?
Okay, for the audience who can't see the side chat, Chris said, in quote, or those uncircumcised, in parentheses, NZ28, median regret score was 0, in parentheses, IQR space OE 24, in parentheses, overall, quotation mark. What the fuck does that mean?
I think that's just a quote she got. I think that's just something she copied and pasted from wherever.
But I know she just copied and pasted that, but she obviously was trying to imply something with that copy and paste. But like, what the fuck does that mean?
I think those are just quotes within the quote, or like.
What does that mean?
Quotes within the quote. I think that's what they are.
Uncircumcised median regret score was 0 overall.
No, like the parentheses inside the quote. I think those are just quotes inside the quote. Like they're like citing a source.
I don't. But even without the quotes, what does that mean?
What does what mean?
Without the quotes, the question or the statement is, of those uncircumcised, median regret score was 0 overall. mean, obviously, we're not talking about uncircumcised people wanting to be. Actually, I guess yeah, that is what I'm saying. But also, you guys are also arguing that circumcised people shouldn't get circumcised. Oh, actually, wait, I kind of see your point here.
I'm arguing that they should get circumcised as an adult when they're able to make that decision for themselves.
Wait, I kind of see the point Chris is making here. So Chris is saying that in a perfect world where no one was circumcised, no one would care that they're uncircumcised, which is fair. That's a fair point. But as a female who has bitten into the forbidden fruit of circumcised penis, I don't want to go back. So I don't want to tell you.
You're allowed to have your preferences. No one's saying you can't prefer circumcised dick. That's totally fine.
I wouldn't feel comfortable asking an uncircumcised man to circumcise himself. You know what I mean? So like, I felt like the fact that it happened as a child is kind of like it just happened, like they are circumcised type shit. That's why I think like there's a benefit of it happening as a child, because like say you grow up and you want it to happen, then you have to deal. I guess you're saying like the convenience of the minority shouldn't outweigh the harm of the majority, even though I will argue that the majority isn't harmed irregardless. But I do, granted, I see y'all's point. I will say I am probably of a selfish and vain and like weird opinion. But like, circumcised dick gang, rise up.
See,
definitely more towards preference.
Yeah, you're allowed to have your preferences in the same way you don't want to date a feminine man, you don't have to. That doesn't mean that every man should be masculine, you know?
Mhm.
In the same way,
Yeah.
You want to date a dude who's circumcised, doesn't mean that every dude needs to get circumcised.
Of
Sure,
course.
it might make your dating pool smaller, but like,
That's
you
okay.
know, at least people are happy with who they are. I think that's the...
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% don't think it's mandatory. I just don't think a parent should be looked down if they do it. I am never ever going to argue that one thing should exist without the other. I 100% believe in complexities and grayscales, not white or black. I believe everything should exist within the spectrum. I just think that the things that we are obviously overcorrecting from should still have their places within the world, as everything else should.
I agree to disagree, because I think while I do think looking at things from a nuanced point of view is very important in all standards, I don't think that every single thing is black and white. I think that there are some things that are purely bad or some things that are purely good.
Agreed. I think that you can have a spectrum without like so like again, the exception is not the rule.
Yeah.
I never like to assume someone's point of view includes the exception. So when I say that there's space for all different types of ideologies, I'm clearly not talking about the ones that are absolutely abominable to any sort of progression. Killing, stealing, raping, obviously the things that we all know are bad. Manipulation, shit like that.
Not washing your hands when you pee.
Exactly. Not washing your ass. The exception is not the rule. I think there's 100% space between different perspectives. People are going to think a good thing, one thing is good, one thing is bad. We all know killing is bad because it makes us feel bad. So those natural, understandable bad things don't exist within the paradigm I'm theoretically proposing.
So, quick question. What do you base your morality on? Because you just said killing is bad because it makes you feel bad. Is that what you base your morals on? Is this thing feels bad, therefore it is bad?
So most people, I feel like what karma is the idea of you knowing something is bad and then acting on it. So
how do you know something is bad is what I'm asking you. Is it just your gut feeling, or do you go based on some sort of religious or philosophical ideology?
I would say most people, when introduced to death, it makes them feel bad, except for the small portion of people who are unfazed and or excited by it.
No, I'm not talking about most people. I'm talking about you specifically. So, like, for me, my moral beliefs come from a sociological viewpoint. So my beliefs on killing comes from a sociological view of, okay, this person killed someone. What were the factors in that killing? Because that killing may be justified. Or, oh,
Yes.
hey, there is a
Yes.
power imbalance in this
Yes.
relationship, so
Exactly.
therefore I don't feel as bad if, let's say, I don't, like, someone
Okay.
is reactively abusive to their abuser. So
Mhm.
my beliefs in morality comes from a sociological understanding,
Justice.
whereas some people's sense of morality comes from, well, the Bible tells me this is bad,
Okay,
and other
no.
people come from a utilitarian or Kantist or other philosophical means of basing their morality on.
Okay. The way I base my morality is kind of like what you said, is based off of justice. So, like, for example, I live in a grayscale. I don't think killing is bad. I think if it's justified killing, it's different than murder. Killing, murder, different. If you're killing for food, defense, or some sort of necessity, it's justifiable, therefore it's not punishable via karma. If you do something unjustifiable, that becomes a quote-unquote bad thing. And, like, justifiable includes things that you would consider justice. So, like, we know what is fair and what is not. Like, someone stealing from you, or like someone attacking you, everybody knows by nature it's okay to defend yourself. So if you kill someone in self-defense, that wouldn't be a bad thing. So I think when it comes to my morality, it's a scale system.
For you, your morality is based in justice and based in looking at the grays instead of seeing anything as, like, strictly black or strictly white.
Yes. I think everything is a tool to be used, including actions. And also karma, justice, things like that. Like, nothing is within itself something. It's just what the person does with it, type shit.
Okay, because I think it's important when having these debates on, like, sociological issues to understand where people, because everyone is driven by their morals, and where understanding where their morals are based from can really help when having conversations like this. Because for me, the sociological reason I am against circumcision is because I believe that there is an inherent power imbalance in a parent doing a surgery to a child that the child cannot make the decision for themselves. That's where that comes in for me. Whereas for you, like,
for me, I would say that a power imbalance is completely justifiable if given benefit over harm.
I don't agree with that. Because, like, think of it this way. There's, like, let's say, Leonardo DiCaprio is a good example. He refuses to date anyone over the age of 24, and there have been rumors that he's kind of shitty to his partners. The partners, though, they get contacts. They're able to network, and they get spoiled with lavish gifts. Is the mistreatment they receive from him, and is the power dynamic they have with him being older and a celebrity okay because they gain something from the relationship? Even if what they gain may not necessarily be equal to what they,
No, because you have, like I said, it's about fairness and justice. So, like, there's no beneficial coming from the person, like the young girl. There's no benefit that she gets, because most likely you're going to come out of that feeling traumatized. And all of the quote unquote, like, you could possibly argue that, like, oh well, like, being with a rich person gives you gifts, but, like, that's also not true, because, like I said, you walk away from that feeling victimized. So that is a negative instance of power dynamic. A positive instance of power dynamic would be a teacher and a student, or a boss and an employee, or
power dynamics are always going to exist, and they can be used helpfully
Exactly.
or harmfully. I just think that
it's the exchange of knowledge, or, like, it's the exchange of status that causes power dynamic. But in a natural environment, we all strive to be of different status, at least in our current society. So I feel like it's always going to be there unless we change society. So I don't think power dynamic in and of itself is a bad thing. It's only
No,
when
I don't think so either.
they use it badly.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I think using your power dynamic over your infant to do an irreversible non-necessity surgery is bad. I think that is an abuse of the power dynamic. If it was a necessary surgery, or if it was for more than mostly cosmetic reasons, cool. Or if the person could consent, cool. It's just the fact that they have no ability to consent and it is not medically necessary.
Okay, question. Say, hypothetically, we live in a world where everybody is born with a, say, they learn that if you, cut off a piece of cartilage from the inside of the opening of the ear, that it makes your brain smarter. Actually, like, you actually process faster and you become a smarter person. And
Question,
because
is
of
this a belief or is this like an actual
this is
scientifically
facts.
proven? Okay,
This
facts.
is 100% accepted by everybody around you. So you believe this. So even if it's not fact, you believe this. Everybody in the society believes this, and maybe it is true or not because of the belief, but we believe this. That's the hypothetical. So you have a child. Everybody in society, for the most part, has this brain thing, and those who don't are seen as, like, you know, they're kind of slow because they don't got the brain thing. And, like, you are in this society. Would you get your baby's ear cut
See,
to be smarter?
I don't base my decisions on what society says is acceptable or not acceptable or what the societal norm is. I based my decisions based on, at least in this circumstance, I would base it based on science and fact. If the science and fact did prove that it actually provenly made them smarter, I would wait until the child was, let's say, 15, and then I'd say, hey, do you want to get this done? Let's do this, or let's not do this.
But wouldn't that imply, like, a stumped nature on their growth? You know what I mean? Like, you would be stumping their growth and, like, causing an obstacle within the child's life, that if that was the case, if that truly was the case.
It would be causing a sociological issue. It would be causing a sociological issue, yeah.
Yes.
But that doesn't, I'm not going to change my child based on based on what society believes. I'm not going to be, oh, society says that big noses are bad, so I'm gonna let my 13-year-old have rhinoplasty, or, oh, society says big boobs are better, so I'm gonna get my 16-year-old a boob job. I'm not gonna base what my child's physical body based on what society says is acceptable or not. I'm gonna base it based on science and what is actually good or not good for my child.
That's fair. My only reason of asking, I imply that hypothetical as I think people people don't like that aesthetics and physical beauty is a high value in our society, but you could probably say that intelligence is, because of simply on the fact that, like, it has good benefits. But I would also say to you that there are benefits of being pretty, and you could say that it is because it's an implied in the society. But I guess to say is, like, the benefits of making a kid intelligent as soon as you can in a society where everybody's expected to be intelligent would probably be a good thing. And I feel like most people would feel like they're stumping or stunting their child's growth if they didn't do that.
Yeah, so if it was actually 100% scientifically proven to help my child, it is definitely something that I would think about. Because, for example, I'm going to vaccinate my kids. They're going to be too young to be able to choose that and consent to that, but scientifically proven, it is going to make my kids safer and give my child a better head start in life. So if it is actually scientifically proven that it would make my child smarter and make them able to understand these concepts more, that's something I would discuss with the child's father and potentially do.
Do you think there is a percentage that states that it is proven that most people are females or like people that like dick want to see circumcised penis.
Yeah, there's definitely, under that, but like
I think if we could equate the two, the quote unquote scientific facts of intelligence, if the intelligence growing is equatable to the scientific quote unquote fact of attractiveness growing based on the preference we obviously have.
Yeah,
and
but
that's the proof of the pudding.
Than intelligence.
Only because you value it different, and that's my argument, is that prettiness is valuable in the fact that our brains literally release different chemicals when we see something attractive. Like, there is a benefit in being attractive just as there's a benefit in being intelligent.
So if your child, let's say your 13-year-old kid was chubby, would you give them liposuction because they would then be beautiful and therefore have more sociological advantages in life?
I would never do a surgery after they're a child. I feel like that would be fucked. If you told me I could do something to the baby to where they would never have to deal with ever being fat again, like their metabolism works amazing, I would do it. Yes. Yes. Because I would want that. If my mom did something to me as a baby where I never got fat ever, yes.
See,
yes.
But you're basing that on what you want.
Yes.
Not what the child may want.
Again, the idea that a parent isn't going to project their ideology onto a child is a fallacy. It's going to happen. To expect any other different is unnatural.
Yeah, we are gonna do that, but like, I feel like if you raise your child in a way that it's like, okay, I gave you these surgeries as a baby because attraction is so valuable, you are going to give that kid a fucked up view of themselves because they are only going to view themselves based on how attractive they are. That is how they're gonna get their worth.
I don't know, I feel like in the hypothetical of, like, say you did something that fixed the metabolism to where they would never get fat, I don't think that they would grow up hating me for that, or I don't think they would even have some sort of, like, if I naturally grew up with a quick metabolism, I would never think to myself, like, damn, I'm not fat. Because it's not the societal norm.
I don't think, damn, I'm not fat. I think in the opposite way of, yes, I got this surgery, but damn, I hit puberty, and naturally with puberty, I gained weight and my body changed, and now I have a stomach that I didn't have before because my uterus and my uterine lining gives me a pooch. Now I'm insecure about that because I had surgery that's supposed to make me skinny and beautiful, and I'm supposed to be beautiful, and now my body's changing and I'm no longer beautiful because I've gained weight, so I need to, like, starve myself. I need to lose that.
Well, that would imply that the surgery to make sure you never get fat didn't work. So that would be implying, again, a botched experience.
I'm not saying they're actually fat. Body dysmorphia doesn't work that way.
I would imply that's everybody experiences that, whether you did something or didn't do something. Like, that's probably something you go through regardless.
Of course, but I think it's going to be worse if you were taught from your parents that attractiveness is so important that they're willing to put you through surgeries as a baby to ensure that you are attractive. I think putting that level of importance on attractiveness is going to make your child feel like their only worth is their attractiveness and is going to give them complexes about their appearance. Because, like, look at like childhood models and childhood actors. They often develop eating disorders. They often develop severe body dysmorphia because they are taught in the society that they are in and in the culture they're in as child stars that their appearance is what's important. So they should be willing to take diet pills or do these surgeries to be beautiful and to maintain that beauty.
Mm-hmm. See, I kind of see this almost from an augmented sort of like cyborg type society. I feel like if the society norm was that we all had neural chip links, I don't think people would grow up with complexes that they're stupid. I think that they would just be enhanced from the environment that they grew up in. And I don't think that the implication of the enhancement would inherently cause negatives, because most time insecurities come from rejection of the outside expectations. Like, you only ever think you're ugly because someone said you were ugly. So, like, if you inherently didn't have that problem to be called that, you would never come to terms with that problem.
People are always gonna call other people ugly, though. The most beautiful people in the world still get called ugly.
I mean, that's, again, like, I mean, and then if that's the point, then that doesn't apply to the argument, because it happens no matter what.
You're imagining a perfect society where people never get insulted and never feel body dysmorphia and never feel stupid.
No, I'm imagining a society that the dysmorphia does not come inherently from something that enhanced your life as a child. I would say that body dysmorphia doesn't come from the fact that you got a surgery as a child. It would come from other factors. So I like I said, like someone who got their penis circumcised would probably only have a problem with that circumcision if, one, if it was botched, and two, if they had an external experience where it was not accepted.
See, but why are we caving to the societal expectations instead of making it so that way the expectations are more inclusive? So that way less people have to feel insecure and have to modify their body to fit those standards.
That's fair, but like I said, I'm not campaigning for you to do it. I'm campaigning for me to be able to do it.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to do it. I'm saying I never would.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're implying that there is a problem with it. And I'm saying that, I guess, based on perspective, there may not be. Because it only is harmful on the chances that it is. Like, it isn't a 100% harmful thing.
I believe that it's harmful in the sense of you're contributing to a societal expectation that is not helpful or beneficial to people. And I don't think that you shouldn't have the right to have your kids circumcised. You should have that right. You should have the freedom. We're in fucking America. You're supposed to have your freedoms. I just think I would personally never do it because to me it is caving to a societal expectation that is more harmful than helpful.
With that said, I would say if society as a whole had their piece with the negatives of beauty, we would be able to appreciate it in a healthy manner. And like, I think beauty in itself is a valuable thing. Like, the progression towards beauty could be a good thing. Unfortunately, it is a bad thing, current standards, because it has to imply something negative. But I would also say, like, I've been fat. I'm currently bigger than I used to be. I'm like, you know, I'm chubby now. Like, I come from a perspective of having been the fat kid, that like the progression towards beauty I don't see as a negative, but obviously in doing so it implies that there has to be an ugly. Just as the progression towards modernism, the progression towards intelligence and creation implies that there are bad ways that have been done in the past. So like I think
my line comes when you are enforcing those beliefs and those feelings onto other people instead of just having them on yourself. Because it's okay to be like, I want to achieve beauty, I want to lose weight, I want to meet these societal standards, I want to be circumcised. It's not okay to say, hey kid, you have to be circumcised, you have to be skinny, you have to have a perfect nose, you have to have big boobs.
But with that said, not defending the extremism of those situations. Evolution could not exist if not for passing down the necessary genes of the progression. So the idea of children in its most binary form is the progression of evolution. So obviously that includes ideologies, concepts, and behaviors. So like progression of beauty, assuming that circumcision is a part of that, would include the progression of evolution to the next generation. So
I believe that the progression of beauty should be more inclusive. I think we can have a progression of beauty where beauty is more inclusive and more things are seen as beautiful than they were. For example, in the 90s and the early 2000s, the only thing that was considered societally beautiful was stick skinny people with tiny noses. But now in 2024, people love people with
That is true.
big hooked noses. People love people who are chubby. People love curvy people. We have expanded what society sees as beautiful, and I think our goal should be that expansion and inclusivity of society instead of continuing to perpetuate the closedness of
Okay.
it.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, see, that's where okay, I'm gonna close this out. We've been going on about this for so long, but I will say one thing. That actually is a beautiful foundational difference between you and I. I believe there is one truth, and that there is a single point of perfection for everything. That being what progression leads to. Whereas I believe what you're saying is that perfection in itself is the whole.
I believe that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Perfection can be dependent on each individual person.
I love that. How do y'all feel about dicks and circumcised? How do you feel about dicks in general?
I
I've
love
like
been through
dick?
this. I love them.
You like dick, Psycho?
Yeah, why not?
Hey,
Why not?
you know, to the audience members out there, we love you. Circumcised, uncircumcised, dick, cheese or not. As long
Wash
as
your
you take
ass.
a shot, you're allowed to piss in the pot. Let's take one last shot for the night, y'all.
Hey.
We've been, I'm probably gonna nicely clip this up so it's not so long, but for those watching the edited version of this video, we were just talking about uncircumcised dicks
whole
for like
3
40
hour-
minutes.
The whole 3-hour episode goes on Patreon.
Yeah? If you want to hear us talk about dick for 40 minutes, subscribe to our Patreon. That probably isn't in the description yet. Cheers!
Cheers.
No,
Oh god,
Bless you.
I'm out of chaser. Oh, this is
Oh.
karma for talking about uncircumcised dick for so long. Well, let's go ahead and I just want to say we lost Chris in the whole dick conversation. Chris had to go, so everybody say goodnight to Chris.
Good
Good
night, Chris.
night. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and sign off. I'll start with you, Psycho. Go ahead and sign off. If you have anything to plug or anything you want to just say, just, you know, say goodbye to the viewers.
Right, no plug. Just thank you all for listening to our conversations. Love to everybody. Everybody is perfect in their own way. There is no being perfect or being unperfect. Everybody is just perfect how they are.
Uncircumcised.
And so, and so with that, I'll be signing off. You guys have a good night.
That was great. That was fantastic. All right, Sunny, go ahead and sign off to the viewers. You know what to do.
Good night.
Sleep
I
tight.
love it.
He's always
That's
so
it.
short with it. Short and sweet. Couldn't
Right.
be me.
Right. I need a whole paragraph. The fuck? That was
You
me.
did great.
Okay. Lilac.
It's Lilac signing off here. It's nice to be back. I'm happy to hang with everyone, and I hope to see y'all next episode when we're hanging out with our buddy Elemental, talking about mental health and music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also, for those watching, if you want to be interviewed, if you want to pop on the podcast as a guest, if you think, you got some crazy stories to tell, throw a comment down, We have guest spots open, you know what I mean? All right, y'all. And I'm Swallow. I'm a motherfucking host in this bitch. Hosting the host with the most. I'm
Host
kind of
with the
drunk.
most.
Yeah. Check out my Spotify. I drop new music every month. Check out Sunny's Spotify.
No.
He makes music.
We
He
talked
just
about
never
this.
wants to plug
We
it.
talked about this.
He just never wants to plug it.
We talked about this.
Check out my gaming channel. Cat's called Chaos. And definitely keep open because we may have some cool shit in the works when it comes to gaming content with a couple other YouTube channels. So definitely watch out for some collab content coming up in the future. And as always, wash your ass.
Wash your ass.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Mwah.
Mwah.
Give him a kiss, everybody.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Sunny, kiss our viewers goodnight.
No.
Kiss them.
Nope.
Kiss them.
Oh.
Bro.
Y'all get no love from Sunny.
Yeah, he'll kiss y'all next episode. If
No,
you
I won't.
subscribe to the Patreon, he'll
won't.
kiss you.
No,
He'll
I
subscribe
won't.
you. Yes, he will. If you
No, I
subscribe
won't.
to the Patreon, he'll kiss you.
No,
If
I
we
won't.
get
Real
100
person.
subscribers on YouTube, he'll kiss you.
No, I won't.
Right. If we get this
No, I
video
won't.
to 100 views, 100 subscribers, Sunny will show up to your house in person and kiss you on the forehead.
No, I
Mwah.
won't. No, I won't.
Yes, he will.
I won't.
Good night. Bye.
Bye!
Whoop.